please welcome my guest for this afternoon, Lae-Dee. Hello? Uh-oh, I think you're still muted.
Oh, now I get a hello?
I did
Now
say
I get a hello?
I did say... Well, I wasn't going to spoil it. Okay, this isn't going to make sense to folks who are watching the YouTube cut afterwards, so I should probably explain. There were folks who were popping in chat during the intro area, and I was calling out folks, and Lae-Dee was in the chat, and I was like, wait, no, can't shout you out, because that's sort of the spoiler, as if it wasn't already spoiled and announced many places that she was the guest today. But anyways, hi, Lae-Dee.
Hi! Hi! My name is Lae-Dee, and you're watching Vtuber Talk. Wow, I'm thinking things.
I appreciate that reference.
Hi.
Hello. I'm guessing most folks who are watching are already familiar with you, but for anyone who might not be, if you could introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do.
Hello, I'll do it in my official voice. Hello, my name is Lae-Dee, co-host of Things VTubers Say, where we talk about indie to corporate news about VTubers, all in all about VTubers on YouTube series published on False ID's YouTube channel. Go ahead and check us out if you want to stay up to date for all things VTuber news.
She's practiced
Yay!
that. Yes, that is actually one thing that sort of struck me, just seeing you on your own channel, that obviously, like you mentioned, you work with False, Cody, and Heidi over at Things VTubers Say, and that you are one of the broadcasters there, one of the anchors there. But of course, you also have your own streams that you do, some on False's channel, some on your own, and that your speaking voice, your normal voice, is not your broadcast voice. And that's not inherently uncommon, but it's also the type of thing that you don't necessarily realize until you check out the other content.
Yeah, especially when people check out my other content. So usually when people come to my streams, they're like, wow, you have like such a deep, like nice, sultry voice. And then like when I'm on stream, I'm like completely unhinged.
Did any particular process go into finding that broadcast voice, since it is so different from your normal one?
Not really. It's kind of my customer service voice. I'm gonna be honest. I used to
Very
do
fair.
I used to do telemarketing as like part time. So I was used to talking like, "Hi, would you like to do a donation to this blah blah blah? Would you like to order our
Gotcha.
product online?" And I'm like, "Well, okay." And then like my boss would compliment me and be like, "Wow, you have such an airline like speaker voice. It's good. It's good. Continue to work
really
here." And I
is.
was like, "No."
No.
I was like, "No."
We're getting out of here. Yeah, I do not blame you for that, but I will definitely agree that you have a very good broadcaster voice. It's the type of thing that just, it sounds very smooth. It's very clean and...
Thank you.
But at the same time, it's also very fun just to hear your fun, crazy, unhinged, as you call it, voice as well. That
Yay.
Well, I don't want to talk too much about, things VTubers say, because that's stuff where, you're part of the bigger team, and whenever I have guests on the show, I do really want to focus on the guests themselves. And one thing that I know about you that I wasn't really actually aware of until we spoke earlier this week is that you're really into chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm so curious that this is episode 79 of VTuber Talk. I do not think I have had any significant conversations regarding chemistry on this show before. So just for starters, where did the interest in chemistry come from?
It started in high school. I had a really awesome chem teacher my sophomore year. And I went from I already started out in the honors classes, and I continued to go to AP, and then just decided I really like this, so I'm gonna just do a major in it. And yeah,
it's always
really
nice
fun.
It's always nice when you have a teacher that is one able to just teach effectively, make it so that you're able to understand
for
the
sure.
material. But having a teacher that just either has a really good personality or is able to make the subject extra interesting, it really is a next level thing, and something that you don't always get in every class. So it's cool to hear that you were able to have someone that really made chemistry click for you. was there ever a specific area of interest within chemistry? Because obviously that's a very broad field, a lot of potential applications. Is there anything
Mm-mm.
that interests you in terms of either just the academics of it all or potential applications when that was something that you were actively studying?
I really like this is gonna sound weird. I'm gonna sound like someone from Breaking Bad, but like I really like drug methods and design. Mainly since in these current years, you know, we've had a lot. This is gonna get very technical now.
No,
But
please.
like I have a very big interest in like nanochemistry and its applications in drug delivery methods for the benefit of like future medical uh properties, right?
Hmm.
And since nanotechnology and just nanochemistry is still fairly new, and it's not only how we can synthesize them but also how we can incorporate them for more efficient practices such as drug deliveries in the system or tumor removals and surgical practices, things like that, that get the effects efficiency just as good as the traditional method, if not better, but leaves minimum scarring to the patient during recovery.
Mm.
So that's stuff I'm interested in. I don't really handle any of the patient stuff because like I'm not there yet. Hopefully, if I do make it to grad school, I do can further continue on with my research with that. But so far, I'm just working on focusing on how to more effectively and quickly synthesize and doing analysis on like what I have synthesized, because you know sometimes you'll make a cake and you'll follow the YouTube recipe on how to make the cake, but it doesn't look the same, or it tastes hard or dry, and you're like, "Ugh."
Gotcha. Now, as somebody who only has that high school level experience with chemistry, I understand that when you say delivery, you're obviously, you're not talking shipping delivery, that we're talking how you introduce this to the system.
Mm-hmm.
So, different ways to, get it into the body, whether that be
Mm-hmm.
something like injection, oral, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I'm not super clear on, what is the specification for nanochemistry here? That what is the difference between normal chemistry versus nano? Because you use nanochemistry as a term specifically.
So, do you know the strand of your hair?
Yes.
The width, not the length, but how like wide your strand of hair is.
Mm-hmm.
A nanoparticle, such as if I had like nano gold or like gold nanoparticles, right? It's 1/14th, if not more, smaller than that width of your hair. Super tiny, super freaking tiny.
I guess when I think chemistry, I usually already am thinking on the smaller molecular level. So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, is it maybe that line of thinking on my part is wrong, that I guess chemistry at large is going to be a different orders of magnitude, that even if what I'm thinking in terms of chemistry is already going to be obviously small, that nanochemistry is just going to be that much smaller.
Mm-hmm. Super, 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 super small. You got to go over to even find a nanoparticle that you've synthesized. You have to use what's called a either SEM or TEM magnification, which is this giant machine that basically goes through different like lenses and shoots an electron beam down into your sample, and your sample is smaller. Like your sample is about as big as, like, you'll have like a bottle of liquid and whatnot, and you have to burn it onto a specific like disc, and that disc is like as small as let's see, what's an ordinary household? It's smaller than the camera on your phone. So you know the circle lens on your phone? It's smaller than
Mm,
that. It's half the size of the circular camera lens on your phone. If not the same size as the front camera on your phone. So you know how small the front camera is? You can barely see it, right?
yeah.
You don't barely notice that your front camera is there. But that's how big it is, and that's how delicate it is. And it's just like even the sample itself is burned into that disc plate, is like, into that disc plate or whatever. So it's not like entirely, like, you can't even see it. Like, you just, if you were to look at it with your naked eye, you're like, this is just a piece of copper, like this is just metal, like what is this?
What
Until you like,
machinery do you have to use to be working with things on such a small scale. I assume that there's going to be very specific instruments that are for these purposes because, obviously, if you try to handle it with your hands, that you're going to either crush it or,
Oh yeah,
trying
no,
to
for
place
sure.
things, it
Even
won't
so, like
work.
even the thing. So, one that we've been doing with it recently is with a TEM. So that stands for a transmission electron microscope. You could Google it. It's these like beefy guys. But the sample is just so itty bitty tiny. It's very cool. It's very cool. TEM and SEM are pretty similar. I've used both of them in the past month to do like help do analysis on like data for both my lab and my research. Although I've only recently started my research because
Well, you've been busy with a little bit
Yeah.
of, gestures broadly at all of the other things in your life.
It was September, man. I wanted to have fun.
Mm,
I ended up collabing with a lot of VTubers
Yeah, no,
for this month. So I was
you've been
like,
busy lately.
yeah, balancing comms, networking, getting the TVS episodes.
Yeah, and it's been a
Bill
very
with the
busy
co-hosts there. Bill with the co-hosts. I've been relieved of a lot more slots, which I'm very grateful for because now I can put my attention on some of the things like I like to do, like personal project managing outside of my academics and TVS.
Mm. Are you comfortable saying what some of those other projects entail? Obviously, nothing super specific, but generalities.
I will hint at something me and Heidi are working on. It's something musically related, and I'm going to be working on the video and help coordinate that with Heidi. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out, keep an eye and an ear out. Okay.
Even 2 eyes and 2 ears, perhaps even.
Or 4 eyes.
Ooh. Come to think of it, that would be the first TVS music project that I can think of. That I don't think that there's been a
Officially,
cover.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to organize it. Oh, look at me go.
That's very exciting, and it's been super cool to see Cody and Heidi get brought in as well. That, it's been very clear that you were very excited to be a senpai and helping teach them the ropes, and they've obviously taken to their roles very, very quickly. So it's been a very fun time over there, and like you said, also just very busy. That I'd imagine when you joined up with TDS, you might not have expected it to be quite as big as it has gotten or as hectic as it has gotten.
I think it's pretty same. I think it could be more. I mean, I don't know. It's not as hectic as a. It's not really hectic at all.
Oh, cool. Well, honestly, that's good. That means that things are being run smoothly. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. False is a good boss. Us
That's
co-hosts do our best to try and get things on time, but
Your area of specialty usually when you do segments is indie VTubers. Was that something that you went out of your way to sort of request as your area of specialty, or was that something that maybe sort of fell in your lap and that you later just fell in love with?
So when I originally auditioned for Lae-Dee, when TVS auditions were open for Lae-Dee, my Twitter was entirely just like following indie VTubers. I didn't really follow corporate VTubers because I just don't feel very connected with them in their streams. I do watch clips though because I'm like, but
Sorry.
like the corporate VTubers have amazing heckin' clips.
Sorry, we glitched out just for a second there.
Sorry, yeah, hi, hello, hi.
Oh dear.
What was the last thing I said?
Video Ninja Y. Oh dear.
It's okay.
We are dealing with
Video
very,
Ninja.
very pixel lady. Let me double check.
I'm
I'm still running in the green. This happens every so often.
Let's see. That could be my end, but let me see. Could you see if you add this at the end of the OBS Ninja link in your browser source for OBS if it helps clear it? Usually that's what happens for me. So like,
that.
I was taught that by Roy Zoga. He's like at the end of the OBS Ninja link, he just puts that code at the end, and it forces it to maintain that like level of bitrate.
Let's try this out.
140p.
Oh, there we go.
Did it
Holy
work?
cow, that was... I'm gonna have to thank Roy.
Yay! Amazing!
Holy cow.
What was the last thing I said? Yeah.
we were talking about that
No. Continue,
you've already
continue to
followed.
fanboy about Roy. I love fanboying about Roy.
Oh, don't worry.
Praise him.
Let's just say that there may or may not be some Roy happening on VTuber Talk sometime soon.
Oh, I can't wait. I love Roy. He's such a sweetheart.
Glitched a little bit there. Not quite as bad as last time, but
Oh, it's fine. I say it's fine, but I've had worse. I've literally had like PowerPoint presentation streams for like 4 hours, and people like still watch it. So I was like,
I've had worse. A little bit of scuff never hurt
I've
anybody.
had worse.
But yes, A, Roy is awesome. Absolutely. B, you were already following a lot of indie VTubers, so I guess in that way it was very easy for you to pick that up as your specialty because, well, it already was your specialty.
Yeah.
And, gosh, sorry. A lot of different things going on. Mine in a million places. I should know how to do this by now. It's episode 79. But, for you, is there anything that, I guess, as someone who has so many different things going on, do you have any strategies on how to just keep yourself upright amidst all of it?
I have a to-do. I have a reminder list. So I have several reminder lists for different things on a macro scale to a micro scale, right? So on a macro scale, I have in my daily like to-do list, I'm like, all right, this week I'm covering TVS episodes like this day and this day. So generally I'll have like a general like what to expect this week. I'll buy like 2 TVS recordings, how many like commissions I have left to continue, and then I would under that I would put like the specific client in my planner, and I would be like, okay, this one's due this date, this one's due this date, this one's due this date, and then I'll have my academics on my phone and on my planner in a separate page and be like, all right, these are the projects I'm reports and homework I have to do, this is when the test is, organize that, and then they branch, and that's the macro scale, right? That's the general week at a glance to-do list that I'm like, all right, this is what I gotta get done, this is how I'm gonna do it. And then I have like a separate like so I have an Excel Excel like thing that expands more on all my classes and the due dates for all the assignments I've done or I may have missed, and that's on its own file. And then I have a website called Trello where I keep my commission tabs open for all the different parts, which I really like because not only can I share that with my clients so they can keep up to date on like what I'm working on currently, but they can also like double check, be like, hey, you know, I saw you worked on this and this. Can I see it? You forgot to like update me, and I'll be like, yeah, no problem, no problem. And then I'll, you know, show them whatever, or they'll be like, hey, I've noticed you haven't been working on it recently. Is there or anything? Like, why you not working? And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
and I'll be like, yeah. Yeah. And I'll be like, yeah. I'm like, oh, sorry, I got really busy, but I'll be working. I'll be cramming tonight. Yes. And then let's see, for TVS episodes, I'll just like, it's usually like maybe 1 or 2 a.m. This was before school started. I would just be looking up any VTuber news I found on my Kuro account, because my Lae-Dee account, ironically enough, it's hard to find smaller indie VTuber news to highlight. But on my Kuro account, my artist Twitter account, since that was where I initially only followed, you know, like indie, like purely indie VTubers. I didn't follow any corporate. I didn't follow any of like the top indie VTubers. I just followed very like low profile indie VTubers. And sometimes it's really cool to find some like, you know, actual indie news of someone doing something neat despite their like low, you know,
yeah, that even if they don't necessarily have a huge following, that obviously there's really cool things being done. The
effort's there,
exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes it's very cool. And I would have completely missed it, right? If I had just solely looked at either the TVS Discord or the Lae-Dee Twitch news feed, right?
Yeah,
so I find that very
sort of
interesting.
In your favor, and really into your hands, the fact that you already had this on your Kuro account, and that you're able to maintain a separate Lae-Dee one, and basically just switch between the two and get what you need from each.
Yeah.
And I'm very familiar with Trello, obviously Excel as well, and I consider myself a pretty organized person, but holy cow, lady, you are absolutely next level on that.
Thank you.
But hey, that's why you're able to balance all this stuff that,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you
The
have.
stress does get to me sometimes, though. I'll be honest, but that's what friends and like streaming does for me. Oh my god, my hand! It just went through me like a freaking alien, man. Oh wow! Oh, look at what I can do. Anyway, what was I saying?
Sorry, I was just sort of geeking out that you're very, very organized because that's
Oh
something I
yeah.
definitely pride myself on. So I always
Oh
love
yeah.
hearing about how
Mm-mm.
different people handle different things because obviously there's no one size fits all solution for this type of thing, and that
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
has
This is
different
just yeah.
needs and ways that their brain works most effectively.
Yeah.
And it's
This is how it works for me.
cool that you'll be
Because
able to find that because it can take some trial and error, frankly.
yeah. I thought this I've always been organized since I was like a little kid. Like I pride myself on being organized as a little kid. Like I would reorganize my rooms with my stuffed animals, and I legitimately, up until we moved recently, I had a very organized pile of my elementary school notes. And you're
still have
like
the
the
elementary school
handwriting.
notes.
Yeah. So my handwriting, absolute like poop because it's elementary school, but the organization was there, and I'm like, sheesh, little me. Sheesh. Yeah. I'm
My
very
handwriting was
proud.
garbage back then and now.
Oh, chicken scratch. It's fine. It's
Eh,
fine.
Something better than chicken scratch, fortunately, but it's still, not super pretty. But that's why I'm glad I just don't have to write by hand much nowadays anyways.
Yeah. Sometimes I like it. I like writing by hand with like pen,
Mm,
gel pen, because
so in what little free time you have that I know you're really into Project Diva that you mentioned is one of your favorite games. So do you enjoy rhythm games at large, or is Project Diva something more specific? Okay, well, I guess starting with Project Diva, that obviously that being, I guess the best way to describe it would be sort of the side-scrolling rhythm game. I'm not quite sure. Is there a proper term for that genre of rhythm games?
no, it's just rhythm game. It's just a type of rhythm game. The
Yeah,
side-scrolling rhythm game is what it is, yeah. Like Muse Dash. Muse Dash is side-scrolling, or Taiko. Taiko is also side-scrolling. Something. Yes.
Yeah. That's a game that obviously has its roots in Japan, and it only more recently got to the West in terms of official releases. Is that one that you discovered
Oh my
before
god,
it got to the US?
no!
Or
I had a PSP, and that PSP was my love. And when I found out on the internet in middle school that I could still play like JP games on my PSP, I went to eBay and I bought Project Diva, the first Project Diva on the PSP, years ago when it like came out a while ago for the PSP, and I like would sit there with my, I would bring it to school, right, and I would have like a little like a sticky note translating what the buttons meant. But like I would play that all night. I would play it so hard. Oh, I played so hard. And then when it finally came out, like on the PS3 or PS4 in English, I was like, oh.
I remember that was a big deal because Project Diva has a very loyal fan base over here in the West that had been waiting for years to get it. And like you said, it was.
I didn't wait. I just translated it.
Well, that's what folks had to do for a while.
Heck yeah. Bro.
Any...
Oh, man. Can I just tell you a funny story?
Please.
My baby brain, I would 100% the game several times because I thought that, you know how like they're like, here's Bad and Night or a Cinderella but Luca version or Kaito version, and people would upload like the MMD video or like the thing with the, the not the original singer on it, and I'd be like, oh, can I get a Kaito track in here? Because it says on YouTube that he's singing this song with the model playing. Maybe am I missing something?
So you thought there was something to unlock?
I would reset I would reset it, and I would beat everything on easy. I'd beat everything on normal. I'd beat everything
my
on hard. I'd
gosh.
beat everything on extreme, over and over again. Wondering, and because it's Japanese, I just thought, oh, maybe I'm just dumb American. I don't know how to figure it out.
Oh no.
And I would just restart the game so many times to try and get that, like, what I was seeing on YouTube,
Yeah.
which obviously was just someone who recorded their screen and then like took the audio track from something else and then put it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't, like it's not in the game.
Yeah.
That
This
was
was
just
just a
fan
custom
edited. It
edit.
was just fan edited. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never realized that what that was. I didn't know what editing was. I didn't know. I thought that was in the game.
Well,
I
it meant
supposed to
that you
know?
got a lot of practice in the game.
Oh, I do. I was so good. Now I'm just kind of normal.
And I got into some rhythm games that little bit of DDR, never really was able to do anything past hard mode. That I could never do anything remotely in the extreme area. Got into a couple of the mobile, tapping rhythm games for a little bit, but again, was able to be confident enough, easy, medium, hard level, good, fine. Anything when it gets into, the very hard or the high level stuff, those people are just next level. I had
Crazy.
guests who are really, really good at some of the tapping games, and that they've done hand cam streams of those, and their thumbs are a blur.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you have any favorite
Crazy.
songs or any favorite folks in the Diva Vocaloid lineup?
My favorite song in Project Diva is Two-Faced Lover. I like playing it where it's like
Mm. I've never been super into the Vocaloid scene, but it's something that I've gotten just a lot of secondhand knowledge just from friends, seeing things
Yeah.
in the VTuber community, because there's a good number of folks who are really into Vocaloids or Taite that have since become VTubers. So it's something that it's been fun to learn about it, even though I haven't actually had much of a personal experience with it. But I know, that entire genre means a lot to a lot of people, and it's something that
Yeah.
it's really cool to see it still going pretty strong today.
Me, I would sometimes talk to Momo. Momo Tex from Vyugen.
Yes. Yeah.
Me and her sometimes talk about, not very often, but I'd be like, we'll like share like hey, do you remember this Vocaloid mix from like 2000 whatever? And I'd be like, she'd be like, yeah, and I'd be like, yeah, and then we'd be like, yeah, and we'd like jam out. It's funny because especially when Vocaloid was, I didn't really keep up with this man when it was out. Like there were like rumors, or it did happen, where like Vocaloid concert would be initiated in Coachella or something, and then like there were just a bunch of memes, like people jamming out music, right? But then like then it's like when you know what the lyrics are.
So you were
'Cause,
glitching
like,
out a fair bit on that
Dude,
one.
they're so effed up. Like two side.
You were glitching out a bit there. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Don't apologize for my scuff. I embrace it. Anyway, am I good now?
Yeah.
Am I good? Am I
There we
good?
are.
Okay. So there was like this meme that like if Vocaloid did get into Coachella, like everyone who doesn't really know Vocaloid would be jamming out to the music, and it's like if you know, you know. Especially with the song I said, Two-Sided Lover. Two-Sided Lover is actually a really dark song about a locker baby situation in Japan. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's funny you mentioned Coachella and nerdy music that the average person might not know. That I know
dark
Yoko Shimomura,
lyrics, man.
Yeah.
It's messed up sometimes. Most times. The ones I listen to are.
Because nerdy stuff has actually started infiltrating Coachella. If memory serves, Yoko Shimomura, who sings all of the Kingdom Hearts theme songs, actually had a performance there this year.
Ooh! I didn't know that. I don't really keep up with Coachella.
I don't either. The only reason it got
That's
to
like
my
a normie
timeline is that I usually find out that Coachella happened a couple months prior. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that thing, I've heard of it. The only reason I had any awareness of it this year was because Shimomura had performed there, and that made it to my timeline. But I don't think we're far off from seeing some VTubers there that whether it be Hatsune Miku or maybe Calliope Mori from
God, I hope
Hololive.
more Calliope. God, I hope so.
Just
I would buy a Coachella ticket for Mori Calliope.
I'd call it more realistic than ever since she's now signed with Universal Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about the VTuber scene as a whole. Just over the past couple of years, it has blown up so much that we're not quite mainstream yet, but
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to get there, and that obviously, VTubing has already proven that it is not a fad. This is something that's here to stay, and I think it's just going to be finding those moments where it finally really truly breaks into public consciousness and pop culture at large. And it's just
I can't wait.
Yeah, it feels like a when, not an if to me. That I don't know when will be, but I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. That's something that's been very exciting to watch, especially over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned being able to talk with folks about some of the Vocaloid music that, if you know, you know. Some of the anime that you really enjoy, one of them caught my eye as a sort of if you know, you know, because as sad as it is to say, I feel like it's getting a bit older, so folks don't know it as much, and that's Lucky Star. That I don't get to talk Lucky Star with many folks, and if any of you out there in chat or watching on YouTube later are not familiar with Lucky Star, I hold it up as the ultimate slice of life show.
Do you remember that YouTube series was like what you hear in anime opening songs? Anime opening songs, if they were like if the lyrics were what you actually hear. And like Lucky Star was one of them where it's like, I buy sausage.
Yes. Have you seen the not Throwback Thursday, Out of Touch Thursday for the Lucky Star opening?
I have not. I don't think I have. Maybe I have, but it's been a while.
Somebody took the song You're Out of Touch, You're out of touch, I'm out of time. And it fits perfectly with the Lucky Star opening. And they just post it every Thursday. And I don't
Yeah. Sorry, you immediately like burst memories out into my mind. It just unlocked
I
my
don't
2
even
megabyte
follow
memory.
the account, but it ends up on my feed every Thursday.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I remember, do you know the end segments where they're like, with the pink-haired girl?
It was like, hiya, Luckies! Oh, it's so nice to meet you all! Wasn't that an excellent show, huh?
And then, like, the guy would be like, why are you talking like that? And then she'd be like, and then, like, start smoking, and she'd be like, I don't even get paid enough for this bullshit. I inspired. If I ever want to be a content creator, I want to have that gap of Moe. I want to have that gap, just that gap. I want that. I wanted to achieve that gap.
I feel
that character from fuck. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry. Swearing is allowed on the channel. You're fine.
Oh, okay. The pink-haired girl from that show.
Yeah, I did.
I know I have it. I practiced so hard. Yeah.
I feel like you have that gap. Just it's not. Going from the hyper to super cynical and angsty, but as
yeah. It's my own. It's my own way. My own one. Yeah.
But those end segments for folks who aren't familiar, essentially at the end of every Lucky Star episode, they have what they call the Lucky Channel, which it's supposed to be this idol character who's doing a little news segment. And she has this co-host who is just a normal dude. But the thing is, she is super jaded and she breaks character all the
so
time.
much. She is a stingy, like, middle-aged woman that looks really young and can make her voice go really high-pitched like this. So she'd be like,
hiya, Luckies! Wasn't that an amazing episode today? I wonder what Konoha is gonna do in the next one. See you around, Luckies! Bye!
And then like they'd be like, huh? You're still rolling? Shit. And be like,
you're a bit
she's
too
like
good at that voice, lady.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very
practice.
I'm not surprised now that I think about it. Have you ever?
I didn't even realize. You know what? That's so funny because I didn't even realize there was like a news channel at the end of every episode.
I was about to say, have you ever pitched something like that to False? If not, I feel like that's something you should pitch now.
It's something. Oh my god. DM going.
Because now the question is, I think I can't decide if the other host would be False or if it'd be Cody. I think either would probably work. But
Damn, can I throw a chair at Cody? No. Can I throw a chair at False? Yeah. Because she abuses the quote-unquote co-host there.
well, with just live 3D and everything, you actually could do that.
Yeah.
Sure, there's some good folding chair assets somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
And the Einhander in chat says that has to be False. Cody would get too much sympathy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Gosh, now I really want to see that. I hope that happens sometime. Like, that could be something, I don't know, like April Fool's next year. That,
Heck yeah.
Something like that. That obviously, it would not
I'm gonna
work
keep
for
the-
normal
yeah.
stuff, but-
That's going in my noggin. Right
Mhm.
there. Right in my noggin. By the way, I didn't realize I could do this because recently for TVS we have all leap motions, right?
Yeah.
And we have our leap motions. Usually it's like clipped to our chest. So like this area, whatever. It's like clipped to like where between my boobs are, between the boob, like the boob crack. That's where it is. And now we have it flat on our desk. So I wasn't really able to like get like super. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wasn't able to like do things like this before. Like I'm touching my hair and stuff, and
Just-
it's like
just swiping the hair. Yeah.
It's so cool.
anyway.
In memory serves, that was actually crowdfunded. That the community actually helped with the Kickstarter for that and was able to make it so that you all are able to actually really up the tech that you're working with.
For the kohai. Yeah.
Mm. Has there been anything that over time you've noticed a difference in how things run over there? That have you all figured out how to make things smoother, or just anything that's as you all have grown, I suppose?
Yeah, so since the Kohai didn't really have like at first like False kind of gave them stories. It was really easy for me to be like, I just want to do indie news, right? Because False usually covered like more corporate news or like high profile indie VTubers, and I was like, okay, I'll just take the high profile indie VTubers and any other indie news, right, to expand upon it. And with the Kohai, he was like, okay, so what are your interests and how can we like expand? So Cody mainly has like HoloLive JP branch and other things he wants to focus on. I don't quite recall. Sorry, Cody, I'm sorry. And Heidi has more of the like I wouldn't say less, like not like high profile corporate, like anything is like high as like a Niki Sanji or HoloLive, but like V Shoujo, Phase Connect, those things, like the smaller corporate VTubers or corporate companies that aren't as big but are growing to be as big or on their way to be as big, right? As well as any music in the VTuber industry, corporate or indie. And yeah, so we're gradually like slowly getting the hang of finding our like what do we want that is our segments for episodes, as well as since now we have more people, we've organized a calendar to share the stream for the False ID streams and stuff, because we do rotate from time to time, just to get exposure out there for us, because we're like, okay, just exposure and things, right? Because it's a lot. It kind of sounds weird, but like it makes more sense to like for a month or two or until the rest of the year to like expose yourself in the False ID channel, and then like funnel that crowd into your personal Twitch channel. Yeah, that makes which is what I did. Yeah.
Being able to that just obviously the False channel has the built-in viewer base, the folks that are going to be getting those notifications, and that it, like you said, lets you get exposed to those folks so they can get to know you, but then that you're able to move that over to your own channel. And I've definitely noticed that the False channel has been going live, it feels like more than ever. That it
Yeah.
because goodness knows, False is a busy guy, but it's been really cool seeing really everyone just have their own thing, and that you all have your own distinct voices, your own distinct style. And it's been really fun as a third-party observer to just watch all that happening. Also, I'm sorry, I said I didn't want to talk about TVS stuff much because I wanted to focus on you, yet we wound up there anyways. I apologize.
I mean, you can't talk about me without TVS, and I'm
That's
more than
fair.
happy to elaborate on it.
That's fair.
You
That's
can't have
fair.
Lae-Dee without TVS, bro. It's like asking me to go without what's my favorite food?
What is your favorite food? That's a good question.
No, not favorite food. That's like asking me to be like without coffee in the morning.
Ah, okay.
You know, it's just a part of my routine.
Mm. And
Mayo? Shush, Iron Hander. Shush.
I suppose while we're on TVS and the various things you do there, you all actually do have essentially what is a talk show of your own over there. And it is just, once again, called Things VTubers Say, but it's usually on Sundays that you have a stream over on your YouTube channel and that you all bring in different guests. There's actually been an amount of overlap in the folks that have appeared on that stream and that I've had on my show. So for you all over there, that is there anything, I guess, either funny stories or just acclimating to that? Because doing something that's pre-recorded in terms of news reporting is obviously going to be very different from something that's live, and also different from, you know, a normal stream there. So what's that experience been like for you?
So our first TVS episode with a guest was with our VTuber, rest in peace, Brandon. And I strictly remember it because he let me squeeze into his boobas during the stream. And I was like, really campy, squeezing between them boobas.
You do definitely take advantage of the 3D capabilities with all of the guests. That there is a good amount of physical comedy involved for sure.
We have a like a meme with Iron Hander, just why he's known as Iron Hander with the 5. Where he's like, "Give a pat, lady. Give a pat," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it."
Yeah, sadly, I do not have a model, so no pats there. But maybe sometime in the future we'll see.
At the border. Is that close enough? I just at the border.
You can sort of pat Chad.
Patting chat.
Have you had to adjust anything when you're doing those sorts of streams? That since it's, like I said, going to be inherently different from some of the other ones. That was that something you had to acclimate to, or you were able to sort of just get it into that role and run?
So False mainly does all of the technical stuff. So I really just have to just be there with the guests, break some ice, be like, haha, funny, hee hee, hoo hoo. And then we start, and then I'm like, haha, funny, hee hee, hoo hoo. Or I'm eating something, or falling asleep.
Hey, it's a good role to have.
It'll be like, Lae-Dee. Like, False will be like, Lae-Dee, what do you think about this? And I'll be like, huh? It's Sunday. I want to sleep. But I also want to be here. But also, I want to sleep.
The eternal struggle. Hop back to anime for a minute. You accidentally said Pop Team Epic at one point, and I know that's also one you enjoy.
The Moe Gap and Pop Teen Epic, man. Oh, goals. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Is actually starting, I think, this coming week. It's this season
Yes!
that season 2 is happening.
Yes! Pop Team Epic!
That's a show that I
Yes,
tried.
yes.
Again, you're very good at that.
I did a animation with me and Non.
That's right. Shoot, I kind of wish that I'd prepped that, because that'd be a really fun one to show.
Yeah.
You'll just have to check Lae-Dee out on Twitter and find that video there.
It's on my YouTube! Yay!
I tried to get into Pop Team Epic. It is a very particular brand of comedy. The show is basically just an acid trip. It's just
like it. Sorry.
no. Go ahead.
Got my brain juices rolling. my RAM data is memory is like the circuits are flowing, bro. Anyway, the sparks are going. What was I talking about?
Pop Team Epic is basically an acid trip.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm genuinely like that's not even a bit. Like that's not even a bit. Like I genuinely brain fart. Anyway. So it reminds me of the like I really like Moe Gap type of stuff, like themed anime or whatever. So that's why I like the Isekai Quartet as well. I like A Lucky Star because of the end news scenes, but also Konata and her friends' interaction are pretty freaking cute. And then for Pop Team Epic, I also like Moe Gap for that.
And
It reminds me of Panty and Stocking. That's why.
Ooh, okay.
I love the Moe Gap from Panty and Stocking. Absolutely yes. Moe Gap. We strive.
And there's, I suppose, sort of a double layer of Moe Gap on Pop Team Epic because you have the gap for the characters inherently, but then you also have the gap of each episode is the same thing twice,
Yes.
but done by different actors, and then you have the gap of the actors on top of the gap that's already written into the characters and their dialogue.
I like the French sections because I can speak like toddler level French, but I can read at an elementary grade level pretty easily. But my speaking skills are like I don't really speak a lot. I just read a lot. I read more in French than I do speak it French. So I really like the French segments of Pop Team Epic, and it would just be like so funny.
I understood that word.
So funny.
And
Hey.
Yeah, so season 2 of that is coming. I think it starts this week.
So many animes. October Anime Palooza. I'm so excited, bro.
Oh yeah, the fall season is just absolutely crazy. That we're getting more My Hero
The lineup.
Academia,
Mm-hmm.
getting Spy Family, Mob Psycho. I was going over.
Isekai animes coming out.
Yeah, there's always a good amount. Do you have any favorite isekais? That there's obviously a lot of them out there, and we get a good. I'd say even now, still probably 3 to 6 a season. That like there's Reincarnated as a Sword. There's I'm trying to remember that. I usually keep up with a good number.
I really like. So I really like more isekai webtoons and manga. A favorite isekai manga that's getting a recent adaptation. I remember I had an entire stream last month in September with Nananon, and we just spent like 3 hours talking about isekai manga, isekai webtoons, and isekai anime trailers coming out soon. And I was like, we were like, it was so good. It was such a good time. But there's this 2 animes I have my eyes on. If it even loads, because I can't remember the name. Scrolling. Almost there. I got it. Nope, scrolling. Almost there.
By.
I'm a villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. Absolutely hilarious. And The Eminence in Shadow.
Yes. Okay. I've already seen the first episode of I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss. That have you seen My Next Life is a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom?
Listen, I've read the manga, tolerated the manga. I saw the anime, tolerated the anime. The only section that's really nice is the first 2 episodes when she's still a kid. Because she acts so dumb as an adult. And I'm like, I'm not here for dumb adult vibes.
I enjoy the silliness.
There's season 2? Did you see season 2?
Season 2 of My Next Life is a Villainess?
All routes are doomed, yep.
Yes.
There's a scene where she's like taken hostage. And the guy's like, I think I like you. I'm gonna push you on the bed and like hold you against you on the bed so you can't escape me. And she's like, huh? What are you doing? What are you doing?
She's
Huh?
very
What are
oblivious.
you doing? What are you doing? Are you giving me a massage? Huh? And I'm like, no one is that dumb.
That is a very fair criticism.
But she's like that for all the episodes. All of them. And like I get it, but like also it's getting annoying, girly. You're becoming flat. You're becoming flat. and I don't like it.
That's fair. But from what I've read, if you like your smart protagonist, Eminence looks like it's going to be very good. That
Eminence is also like an airhead.
Dang it!
Like,
Is it? Okay.
no, he's not. So like he's like Lelouch from Code Geass. But he's like Lelouch from Code Geass if he was like RPing as Lelouch from Code Geass and he like didn't believe anything was real, right? So he's like, so the one in, I really like this manga and I'm very excited for the anime, not only because of the animation studio that's going to be animating it, Kodakawa Animations, but also so this guy is like a total Chinubi. Like he's very good at LARPing. He loves to LARP. He's a fan of LARPing. But he knows how to keep it real, right? He's like, obviously no one would actually do this stuff IRL. And when he dies and gets isekai'd, he's like, well, I guess I'll LARP and then do regular things as I, because why not take advantage of the LARPing? So he pretends to be this. Yeah. So he pretends to, be this like cool vigilante in Eminence in the shadow in the dark, and he ends up like he's a very OP character, and he ends up finding like this girl who's like this elf girl, like she's the first female lead that he like attracts, gets like saves or whatever, and it finds out he makes up this bullshit story about. Because he's a good LARPer. He's like a good dungeon master, a dungeon. Like he's a good. He'd be good to play Dungeons and Dragons with. Like
the synopsis, so I know where this is going.
Yeah, so he like makes up the scenarios, like the church and the religion with the things and the magical creatures and everything. Yeah, there's this cult and everything, and the church is actually like corrupting the government and whatever. And he's like, wouldn't that be like cool? You want to join my organization? We meet every Thursday. And and this girl is like, oh, I never knew that was the reason why they've been treating us magical creatures so like, wow, and you're like figuring all this out. You're so smart. It's like Overlord. It's also like just like Overlord. Hilarious.
And then it turns
another
out
anime that's isekai that I really like, is a skeleton knight in another world.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
So you say that Eminence is like Lelouch from Code Geass. That actually has me excited because, admittedly, Code Geass is my favorite anime of all time.
Yep.
I just love that series. I enjoy smart characters doing smart things, and don't get me wrong, Lelouch does a lot of dumb things too.
Oh
He's
yeah,
not
for
a
sure.
Character, but I just always enjoyed that type of sort of intrigue writing, and then you get the robot battles on top of it, and it's just a good time all around. So the fact that you are comparing Eminence and Shadows to it has me very excited, because I was getting that vibe from the synopsis, but hearing that confirmed here, like, now I'm really.
You've seen the trailer,
excited.
right?
I have not.
I'll link it to you, and you can watch it later.
The art and read the synopsis.
I am going to link it to you. And watch it. It's literally like the animation is so pretty. Kodakawa Animation, man. The same people behind Reincarnated Jobless Reincarnation, and that, not Garden of Words, what the frick is it called? The blonde girl with the automated arm on Netflix.
Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, I used to love that anime. Now I can't even remember it. Violet Evergarden, the one about the orphans trying to not become meat for aliens.
That was Promise Neverland, but I think that was Cloverworks.
Oh, frick me. Okay, never mind. I don't know my stuff. Sheesh.
I think you're right about Violet Evergarden, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely gonna have to look that one up.
Oh crap! I sent this to the wrong person.
Well, whatever. Of all the things to send to the wrong person, sending somebody an anime trailer incorrectly could be worse.
Dude, yeah. I sent it to Omi.
Oops.
Do you know Omi?
I do not.
He's a ghost VTuber. He's very cool. His design is very epic.
Ooh, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
There was one other from this season that you mentioned, and I'm trying to remember what it was. There was Villainous, there was Shadows. I feel like there was one other. Shoot.
Hot Teen Epic.
No, I think there was another isekai. Maybe I'm blanking on it. Whatever. You also mentioned Overlord. Overlord should not be as good as it is.
Overwatch. Oh, never mind.
You had mentioned Overlord as one of the ones that you compared also to Shadow's Eminence.
Yeah.
I'm kind of frustrated with how much I enjoy Overlord because I feel like it has no business being as good as it is.
Oh, it's so good. And like the music bopping, the
Oh,
tropes bopping, the him struggling and the like whenever he turns green to suppress any like unadulterated emotion, bopping. So funny. And everyone that's just like, did you know our Lord meant to do this? And then like he's like, what the frick are
Oh yes, absolutely. This was totally
yeah.
intended.
Yeah, but but I like it. I like the difference between that with Overlord and Eminence in the Shadow. Because in Eminence's Shadow, he's like, oh well, I guess that makes sense. These guys are like really like taking their time to like open the story and make it like really like, you know, like wow, they're really like going ham in the fan fiction lore I just like made one day when I rescued this one girl. Meanwhile, like Ainzul Gon is like, oh god, what did you... Yeah, I meant to do that. Yeah.
What have I done? Yeah. What am I getting myself into?
Yeah. I love it. It's
He's so good.
Anyway.
Yeah, because the 4th season for that just wrapped up. There's definitely going to be, I think, a 5th, possibly a movie. I don't know, but it's one of those that it's been around for a while, and with as many new power fantasy isekais as we get every season, I still hold Overlord up as one of the best in the genre. That it's certainly not the first, but it's one of those that's just it's been so consistent in its quality.
Yeah.
Tavish VT in the chat. Yes, the plan. Yes, that plan that I totally meant to do and didn't just bumble into.
My lord, what a brilliant plan.
And yeah, just the characters are so fun, so silly that and you get, if you like your power fantasy stuff, it's gonna give you your power fantasy stuff because he's overpowered as hell. It's just ridiculous. But damn, does he look cool doing it.
I wouldn't actually have found out about the other skeleton isekai if it wasn't for Tavish, who's a good close friend of mine for sure. He's having his upcoming debut, possibly maybe next month. I'm really excited.
Excited.
Anyway, or maybe sometime this year. Yes. Tavish, our YC Tree Sage's plan.
I'm sure that command is still up. Gosh. And because now I could go on about Isekai for 3 hours.
Awesome.
Let's do it. No.
Careful, I might just. Because I saw Skeleton Knight. That was really enjoyable. That's one that...
First episode was kind of like, oh my god. But then you're like, yeah.
And yes, there are a good number of parallels to Overlord.
Arifueta! Yay. That's another dude.
Crap. I know the name Arifueta. Why am I blanking on it?
Small blonde vampire girl. This kid got transported into the lowest dungeon and nobody cared. And he wanted to survive, so then he became like Tokyo Ghoul main protagonist, going through trauma and then making his hair turn white and eyes glowing red.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. I've not seen that one.
I love it. Another one, which besides the it's kind of similar to like the spider reincarnation one. I was reincarnated into a spider, so what? Which let me freaking tell you,
that one I did see.
I want more. I want more.
I'm hoping because what I really enjoyed about that one was that, all right, even if we're gonna be getting overpowered, that we get there slowly.
She has a female torso in the anime. I read the manga, but I want to see it moving. You know, it's not the same. Show me my spider wife.
Well, we get that in the spoilers. We get that in the last episode of the first season, but obviously want to see that with a full season and where we go from there. Unfortunately, it felt like they were running out of either time or budget or both because the animation in the last couple episodes, I'm not even somebody who has a good eye for animation, I'll be very honest. But even I could tell that things were getting a little bit, we can see the frames.
Yeah.
I got lost in her beauty, so I didn't really notice.
It did create a good distraction.
Hmm.
Perhaps that was their plan all along.
They were, for me.
I think there are any that are this season that I'm really looking forward to.
I'm looking
Hmm.
forward to Overwatch 2 coming out.
Oh yeah, because I remember I was seeing a whole bunch of folks
I can't
streaming
wait to
it.
play
I
it.
was seeing a whole bunch of folks streaming Overwatch last night because the servers are going to be shutting down since they're getting ready to do that turnover and that they're not actually going to have both live at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So is Overwatch a game that you've played a lot of? Was
Yes.
that one that you got into more recently?
Yes. No. Yes to long time play. Yes.
Any favorite teams? Or sorry, any favorite characters or teams? I suppose if you followed Overwatch League at all.
I don't follow Overwatch League. I just stay away from any like competitive news regarding gaming. I just either play. I'm a filthy casual that occasionally looks up how to play the character a little better, but I just like having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I never play competitive ever.
I'm the type of person, I don't play competitive on anything. I enjoy watching competitive sometimes, just to see the folks who are really at that next level and see the stuff they can do. But I have absolutely no interest of ever actually achieving that level in any of the
Same
games that I
here.
play.
Yeah. It's fun because like the people that do because not only is it their like job and their living to do that, right, to being competitive, but also it's like it's cool to be like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. Ooh, that was cool. Can I do
Mhm.
that?
Any favorite characters when you play?
I really like playing Diva, Ash, May, and I forgot what she's called. The one that's like the big like robot girl that looks like she's green and made of stone.
Well,
Like highlights of green.
I don't actually play Overwatch. Like I said, I watch a little bit, and obviously, it gets onto my social media feed pretty often because it is such a big game. But I'm actually just garbage at shooter games in general, so I don't play them much.
Okay.
That's saying Orisa.
Yeah, Orisa.
Yeah, I like Arisa.
So are those characters all same?
As for
play
my males,
style,
I'd
or-
say Junkrat.
Junkrat. Gotcha.
May,
I don't even know.
May, I mainly like trolling a lot with May because she can do like ice blocks, ice walls, and then like you can freeze yourself to heal yourself to save yourself really quick. Or use it as like a distraction for your team, like be like, haha, they're chasing me. Or just like, and then you turn into like an ice, and then like your teammate goes boom, 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 boom on the person that you baited. For Diva, I really like doing the cool shots where like you do a missile, it goes pew over a wall, and then it says team kill or like whatever. I like doing that a lot. For Junkrat, I also like doing the thing where when you have like the special and you go, same thing with Diva, you can go like release like a tire bomb and go drive it around and drive it behind its enemy team, and then it goes boom, then takes a lot of damage out of the team, if not killing 2 or 3 people out of it. I really like doing that. I like trolling a little bit, but like for the benefit of my team.
Yeah, no, productive trolling. Thank you very much.
Productive trolling, yes.
Yeah, and that's always just, that's going to be a fun way to play because you're getting to do these crazy things that people might not expect, or at the very least, it's, you're getting to have that good time. Whether or not your team wins, that if you can get off one of those sneak attacks, that the game was worth it, that the game was a good one.
Yeah, they're fun.
Do you have any hopes for things in Overwatch 2?
Just the skins. I really like collecting all the skins. That was one of the biggest appeals as well. Not only with the like movie, like the movies and the animated and the animations of the comics that came with the lore for each of the characters that released over time with like new characters and stuff, but also the skins were super nice. They were super good. I like them a lot.
always been surprised that Blizzard never made or licensed a feature-length Overwatch film. That the shorts they've made are incredible.
Oh,
Give
for
me
sure.
90 minutes of that, please. I know that's a big ask. I know that obviously animation of that quality is going to take a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of surprised they never really seemed to try, especially when Overwatch did so well. Because there is a lot of lore there, and
Dude, you don't imagine the times I would just like search up Overwatch movie, even if it was just like all the lore videos compiled together. I'd be like, thank you for this meal.
yeah, because I remember seeing
Take what I get, and I don't get upset.
A lot of people say sometimes I can sound like Tracer when I try to do my like high pitched British accent. I'm like, I don't think it sounds exactly like her, but I can see it.
and that you're able to get into that higher range.
Yeah.
I remember the launch trailer, rather the announcement trailer, because it was a really big deal. That it was, if memory serves, Blizzard's first new IP in something like 17 years when it was announced. And obviously the announcement trailer had this very polished movie to go with it, and the different characters and everything. And it's been very cool to see it grow as it has. Obviously, Blizzard's been having a rough patch in multiple ways, and we'll leave it at that. But it's been cool to see Overwatch, and obviously the fact that it's been able to sustain a competitive league, which in and of itself is an impressive feat, because very few games are able to do that at all. And I know that there's some folks who are happy to see the team size change into, some aren't so happy. It is what it is. It's going to be interesting to see, and I'm expecting that we're probably going to see a lot of VTuber collabs in Overwatch 2 in the next month.
Yeah, I've been trying to fill that emptiness, because I don't really want to download Overwatch.
I kind of was just like, I just want to play Overwatch too, because Overwatch kind of dead. So I tried playing Apex, I played playing Valorant, I tried playing some MMO RPGs like TOF and Phantasy Star Online, but it's not the same.
Well, fortunately, I think that with the release of Overwatch 2, that you're finally going to have that once again. Honestly, if you were to play Overwatch 1 now, that, like I said, I've seen in like the past day alone, like 5 or 6 folks streaming it, just because it's sort of that last hurrah, and folks waiting to
I want
see
it in
that
my
turn over.
hands. Give it.
I need to start playing something that I know is that a lot of people have been saying are very similar to Overwatch, is Gundam Evolution Online, and I really need to start playing it. I have it downloaded already, and I have it ready to like play on queue, but they're not cute anime girls.
It's not the same. They did, giant robots, very cool, but certainly not the same as
Playstyle is nice. I like it because it is very much like Overwatch. But
Cute anime girls.
Yeah, they did.
TF2 is very similar. Oh, cute anime girls.
TF2, gosh, there's a game that I'm fascinated by. It's just its longevity at this point. The fact that it's been something like 15 years, it's still active. It's not big anymore, obviously, but the fact that it's still live at all.
Oh yeah, the meme culture I think is
Partial due for that.
Makes sense. We all know that Valve has triskaphobia, so probably not going to get 3. That my dream is that one day Valve, just out of nowhere, no announcement, like a secret album drop, is just going to one day on the front page of Steam. It's going to be called 3, and it's going to be the orange box, but everything in it is going to be 3, because we have Half-Life 3, Portal 3, and Team Fortress 3. It is a total fantasy. I doubt it will ever happen, but it's... Who knows? I could see Valve pulling some BS like that. Are there any games or spin-offs that you're really hopeful, even if you don't think that they'll ever happen, that, anything from games or anime that you really hope one day get either brought into the spotlight for the first time as an adaptation or brought back?
I would really like some of the early PS games available on Steam. I mean, the early, Silent Hill. Some of the like early like Silent Hill ones on Steam. Because I want to play. I was watching like just before this. I was watching I was like, I want to listen to something while I work on my comms while I wait for like the time to pass for today. And I was like listening to Silent Hill everything, and now I'm like.
I know you're into survival and horror games, which is definitely a divergence
Oh,
from
but
things
wait.
like. You all right over there?
I do. I just realized I was like, I got a PS3, and I have an emulator. Like not emulator, the capture card. I have a capture card. I have a capture card. My PS3, and play the games.
We have the technology.
I have the technology.
Thank you again, Deviants, once again for funding my capture card and helping me be able to make some really good content. Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Deviant.
Yay!
But horror survival, that's a big divergence from things like Project Diva and from Overwatch. So, I guess, how did you end up getting into that particular genre? Is that one that you also picked up very early, or something you've gotten into more recently?
Well, Mama D loves horror movies, so I pretty much like fell asleep to like horror movies since I was an infant. And though sometimes I do get too scared, I do like the third person old like those type of like third person horror survival games. That was very, very common back in the early 2000s. Not only in like mainly on the PlayStation is where I would find them. Sometimes they'd be exported solely for Xbox, but mainly I'd play them. So like games like Rule of Rose or Silent Hill, Resident Evil, those types of games. May we take a bathroom break?
Yes.
The only reason why I'm moving so much. Okay.
Yes, please. Go ahead. I will vamp for time for a bit. So for folks who are around, thank you all so... Whoa. Oh, dear. Please stand by. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so thanks to everybody who's tuning in right now. I see you all in chat. And honestly, I actually missed some folks following a while back. My apologies. So J. Agni, XYZ, and Ellen Kari Kamori, I am sorry if I butchered your name. Thank you so much for follows. And also Tavish, Tumata, Dust of Dust. See you all in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out. KK Josh Joker, yes indeed, it is break time. But also, I need to see if this works, because this was just actually Lae-Dee TV that they just introduced a what? It just added a actual shout out command. That should work. It says does not exist. Did I put the Twitch link wrong? One second, I need to check something. I sure hope that I didn't put the wrong Twitch link. ADTBS, why is it not working? Huh. There's supposed to be new thing where you can do an actual shout out. A channel for viewers to follow. Yes, so yes, does that work? There we go. Must have mistyped it last time. The shout out will probably not appear for you if you're already following, as you should be, but for anyone who isn't following, that'll appear, and I will clip all of this out for the YouTube release later. And Lae-Dee, hello. Welcome back. And
hello.
And the Einhander, thank you for the follow. Yes, where were we? So, Overwatch, Isekai, Gundam. Survival horror, that's right.
Yeah.
You mentioned at one point Siren Blood Curse as one of your favorites in the genre. And that is one...
Yes! Anyway.
I am completely unfamiliar with that game. So,
It's so good.
What is it about?
I
What
should
makes
play
this
Siren
one
Blood
so
Curse.
good?
I should just play Siren Blood Curse. Ooh, 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 Ooh. Anyway, Siren Blood Curse was one of the. I got introduced to it when watching a gameplay done by PewDiePie at the time, but he was like going my PewDiePie at the time, and sorry. And what's it called? I thought it was really cool. It was my first time seeing something that was like, like Americans in Japanese horror, and I was like, whoa! But also, I really love the set design. I love the mechanics. I love the psychedelic final boss, and I really want to be able to stream that and experience it for myself, and just have it like also like with my deviants and everything. Ugh.
What's the basic plot of the game?
So the basic plot of the game is that they follow like it's like how Until Dawn
Yes.
follows the different stories. You initially have a group that's together, right? Or they somehow all end up meeting, or later on they end up meeting and whatever. So it takes place with several different characters seven different protagonists that you follow that eventually end up like converging somewhere within the plot. You follow this one boy who is at Simon Blood Curse's village because he's a foreign exchange student. And he saw this girl like in need of help or something, so he like tries to follow her, and then ends up in the BS that is Siren Blood Curse's town. Then you have a news reporter team who is from America, and they're doing a news reporting from like whatever, because they heard like, oh, there are some scary instances in this place, and they come in with two news reporters. The two news reporters are a divorced couple, but they also bring their daughter to work with them for some reason. I don't know why they would want to bring their daughter to work with them.
Every
for some reason.
responsible parent bringing their young child to an on-site recording where there has been reports of scary things happening and reports of danger and mystery. Let's tell me, this is the ideal time to bring your child to work.
Yeah. And then there's this other character, the cameraman, who is this very like friendly black guy, and he's like the best uncle to the little girl. And then there's this random like lady, like this Asian teenage lady that mainly what's it called? She mainly just comes in contact with the teenage boy who's around his age, or like the freshman, whatever, 18-year-old around her age, and that's their story. And then it all like converges, right? Because they're all like messing with the same town. But it's so good. It was my first time like experiencing a game that like incorporated this like characters that eventually converged to like the same, to make the plot even more dynamic. And I was like, oh, I get to see so many perspectives and they make sense, and it's a horror game, and I love horror games, and it's also third person. I love third person survival. Yay! I was like, yay! And yeah, that's why I really like it.
I really enjoy that type of storytelling where you have all those different paths that then
Perspectives,
converge. Yeah. Have you ever seen Bakano?
No.
Okay, Bakano it is an anime based on light novel series. I've not read light novels, but it is the ultimate in converging and diverging character paths, but also non-linear storytelling.
Oh.
That the events...
I've watched an episode of this.
Oh, if you watch a single episode, you're just going to be confused as hell.
Yeah. I never finished it, but definitely I need to.
And I highly recommend that one. That one actually, I go out of my way to suggest the dub of, that it's just some of the best putting on a clinic. And it's 16 episodes if you include the 3 OVAs, which I think are pretty important for getting the full story. And I tell people to try and watch it within a week, because since it's not just those many different characters, but that it's non-linear, that you're seeing these different events at the beginning that are actually the end, and vice versa. There's flashbacks, and if you watch 3 episodes now, wait a week, wait 2 weeks, watch another episode or 2, you're going to forget so much of it, and it's going to be even more confusing. But if you're able to make the time, it is a fantastic watch.
Yeah.
For horror games, it's been really cool to see that type, especially you mentioned Until Dawn. There's the Dark Pictures Chronicles, I think is the series.
Yeah.
All those different ones. I don't generally play those myself, but I love watching those ones because there's so many different choices and paths, and uh, I
Oh
enjoy the
yeah.
mystery of those types of games of, all right, what actually is going on? That is there something supernatural, or is there a scientific explanation? Is it just aliens?
Or is this like psychological
Hmm.
metaphor? And I
Yeah.
love those.
Mm,
That's why I like Silent Hill so much.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Another
Mm,
favorite horror game of mine is Corpse Party. I really like those. I started playing it on my PSP.
Ooh, I've only seen bits and pieces of that one, but I have seen it around, and I know that that's a game that a lot of people really enjoy.
Another one, which was this other horror indie game, was Cry of Fear.
That one I've just never heard of at all. What's that one about?
It is I think it was a Swedish developed game. It's very, very old. Like if you were to download it now, you'd be like, what the heck is this? It's very like the UI is old. Um, but it's about like this it's another psychological horror about this guy who struggles with like drug issues and like suicidal like feelings and tendencies, and he's just haunted by his past and his like mental state, and that whole thing is like put into this entire game as you explore his like home city, and you're like, okay, I gotta go up this, up this, up that, but the controls are kind of wonky and a little bullshitty sometimes, but it's a good psychological horror story.
Mm. Was that one
It's
initially
a first
on
person.
console, or was that on PC?
PC. It's
Mm,
PC. It's completely PC.
gotcha. And you mentioned that was an older one.
Yeah, it's a much older one for sure.
Mm, I just horror is a genre that I didn't really grow up with. That I've never I've just never really been into it. I love reading Wikipedia articles or watching streams of it because, like I said, mystery is a genre that I
Hmm.
really enjoy, and that I think is something that has a big presence in any good horror story, just the mystery, because it's very rarely just, okay, there is monster and they are scary, but why is there the monster? Is the monster real? Is the monster actually a person? And all of those different
Is this
questions.
yeah, yes. Anyway, sorry, you're gonna make me like I planned like later tonight to also do like a guerrilla horror stream, and now that you reminded me of Siren Blood Curse, I was thinking of either starting a Silent Hill or Siren Blood Curse tonight.
Ooh.
It's like because it's October 1st, and I'm like, I gotta do something.
That's
I wanna
right.
do
Yeah,
something.
spooky season is officially upon us.
Yes.
I know a lot of folks are going to be really leaning into that. If memory serves, Cabal's been on TVS before. That he's someone I had on a while
Yeah.
back. I know that obviously
Oh, so
big.
good.
Oh gosh, he is just
His voice acting skills as well. Oh,
absolutely
top tier.
incredible.
Top tier.
Yes, Steve, that's the right spelling. Hope I got that one right. But yeah, Cab's fantastic. Definitely check his stuff out if you haven't before that. He is, and it's also just been really cool to see him grow. That he's gone from being someone who did just YouTube content primarily, shifted over to Twitch, and in a matter of months has seen a lot of success. And he's been just thriving, and it's been so much fun to watch. He's just such a nice guy, really talented, very thoughtful, and always happy to see him around.
He was playing Fortnite. Nice.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I didn't know that he played Fortnite.
It's pretty fun, not gonna lie. I used to play it before all the like Naruto things, sponsorships or whatever. Collaborations that they have.
As much as I hate to admit it, it is impressive just how many licensing agreements they've gotten. That I'm very much a business nerd, and I wonder who over there is in charge of all those licensing agreements. To be a fly on the wall for those types of talks, especially for the first couple, versus now that I assume it's gone from them asking others to them courting offers for different brands that want to be in Fortnite, as opposed to them having to go out and look for them now.
Allow me to share you something. This meme. Just once it uploads, just read what it says, bro. Just read what it says. If it ever decides to load.
If it's there it goes. Oh yes, no, I've seen that picture. I've seen that
The
picture, and
hit game Fortnite.
yes, it's for those of you who might not have already seen it. There has been a picture going around on Twitter of a Vegeta figure, and it's in a display case in some I don't know some shop somewhere, and there's a little sign next to it that says "as seen in Fortnite." That it's not saying this is a Dragon Ball Z character. It's not as seen in the anime. It's as seen in Fortnite. And as frustrating as it is, that's probably actually the correct sign to put out for marketing purposes at this point in time. Because more people, at least, more folks like the layman is going to recognize Fortnite more than Dragon Ball Z at this point. That if you're in the anime fandom, yes, you're gonna look at that and say, "Oh, it's Dragon Ball Z. That this is Vegeta." But at the same time, if you are in anime fandom, you're probably also aware of Fortnite. So the crossover there versus the amount of folks who are not into Fortnite, who are into anime or who do know anime, is going to be much smaller. So that's technically going to be the correct marketing move.
Yep.
And it's just a bit frustrating, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Who knows what will be next? That just at this point, I think I saw that they added Goat Simulator yesterday, and now they have this very and now they have this very disturbing humanoid goat because it's not a normal goat. It's not your quadrupedal goat. That it is.
Yo.
It's weird.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm loving it. It's everything I imagined and more.
It is certainly incredible in many different ways. And yet that's still probably not the weirdest thing on Fortnite, and I don't even know what would be at this point. But when you can have Thanos and Sasuke and John Cena and LeBron James and Goat Simulator Goat in the same place and at the same time, I do have to just say congratulations, you did it.
That's amazing. Oh my god, I'm so happy for them.
Leo Coelho? Apologies if I'm butchering your name. Thank you so much for the follow.
Leo! That's regular. Yeah.
Hey. I'm not even sure how we got onto that. Where were we? Oh, yes. That, you were saying that, that you're planning on possibly streaming Siren Blood Curse tonight. So, yay. Yeah, because you were going to have
that or Silent
stream...
Hill.
But yes.
But now I can't decide.
Or both. Or can all those.
At the same time. Let's go. Split screen.
There we are. Yeah, officially October. The year has been going by very quickly.
Oh, don't tell me, no.
Just,
So listen, every time, every non-student who says that is like, it goes by so fast. Isn't it great? And I'm here like,
no.
Got a 15-page paper due now. I gotta go. Like,
I do not envy you on that
I
one.
don't envy me either.
One thing I can tell you for better or worse is the school dreams never stop.
Oh, for sure.
That even now, I still have the occasional dream of, oh, there's an exam next week, and I haven't been to any of the classes all semester.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And the thing is, I was a very good student. I went to all the classes, even the non-mandatory ones, and it just, in this dream, I'm always questioning myself.
Non-mandatory ones.
I was just that type of person. So in these dreams, I'm so confused. Like, how could I forget that I had this class and not go to any of them? How could I forget there's this exam? But for what it's worth, waking up from those dreams, it's one of the best feelings in the world. Just, oh yeah.
Really? I wake up sweating.
It's like that brief moment when you wake up of terror, but then the realization,
trauma.
oh yeah, I don't need to go to class. I'm done with that. I don't have any more exams.
I can't relate. I won't be able to relate for another decade.
Oh no. Well,
yeah, trauma will really seep.
You will eventually be able to share in that joy, but yeah. For now, so you're doing some cool stuff. It sounds like that. I suppose actually hopping back to chemistry for a moment, that you mentioned your lab and all the different things you're working on there. That do you have a specific role in the process, or are you doing a bit of everything?
I do a little bit of everything. My school likes to make sure that we're not like technicians, right? Because it's like you could teach any monkey can turn the on button and learn how to do the program. I want you to know how to prepare the sample, how to input the sample in the technology, and how to analyze the data. Because any monkey can turn on a microwave and put the food in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, that's good. I'm glad that they're actually preparing you for stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Take that 6601 lady forever in school. So one thing I've completely neglected to mention, I'm actually going to move us over to a different scene right now, is we've mentioned in passing your art and that you take commissions. I do have the commission link in the Twitch panels here, and there will be a link in the YouTube video description as well once that's up over there. Hi, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
you guys already know the drill. Don't forget to leave a like, favorite, comment, and subscribe on what your favorite scene was so far in the interview. Anyway.
Thank you. You're very good at that. But yes,
I used to do it a lot to meme.
But you actually shared with me a couple of your favorite pieces, and I actually realized these are the ones that you have on your website as your sample pieces for your digital art. And the first one we have here is of you.
Yeah. That's usually more of the style I go for my personal pieces, like somewhere in between. Like I'm trying to get better at it, right? Because I'm trying to get to a way to where I could render it somewhat like the art gun or like a Final Fantasy type model. You know what I mean? Like you can tell, or like you know. But it's still somewhere in the uncanny valley right now, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm getting better. Like, yeah, I just drew that one. A little pride heart for Pride Month. Well, mama.
So how did you end up getting into digital art? That the technology for this didn't really exist when we were growing up. So were you into studio art and drawing from a younger age? MS Paint? Yeah, the classic.
Yeah. Started with MS Paint. I started drawing, it was when I got into Vocaloid, actually. I started drawing Rin, Len, Hatsune Miku on MS Paint, and I would, with my mouse, because I didn't know anything about Wacom tablets at the time. And I would just draw them with my mouse and color them and show them to my cousins and my aunts whenever they would come over and be like, look what I did, isn't this cool? And upload them to DeviantArt and stuff.
That's how it
Or
begins.
I would draw in the DeviantArt, like, they had like this really like poop canvas thing you could do online and stuff like that. That's how it started. And then yeah.
So for this piece in particular, was there any part of it that you recall being either really difficult or a part that just came particularly easily?
It would have to be the face that was pretty difficult for this one, the lady like with the little rainbow on it, because it can get really uncanny if you get uncanny, and I don't really know what I'm doing, so I just kind of was like asking Tavish and my friends. I was like, how do I make her not look like this weird like uncanny thing? How do I make her look softer? Help me. Help me.
Do you have any formal training of, either classes that you've taken in school or private lessons, or are you completely self-taught?
Digital wise, I'm completely self-taught.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I did take art classes for a little bit in college, as like extra electives to take because I had the time at the time. But they were mainly focused on like traditional art. So sculptures, collages, not really anything at all digital.
And I'm guessing that there's probably some concepts that are going to be able to carry over from traditional to digital, but at the same time,
fundamentals are the fundamentals.
Yeah.
They transfer and apply no matter what method of art you're using.
Yeah. So you at least had that base of knowledge to work with. So
Yeah.
yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot of different tools and complexities for digital art, and that
Mhm.
still being self-taught in that regard is something that is going to take time. And it's cool that you've been able to actually get all those skills, because it's not easy. That it always is more complex than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
The
It's fun
next
though.
we have is, so this one says Lucy, and I'm not sure if this is an OC or somebody I should recognize, but I'm not
Ah.
familiar with Lucy.
Do you know Nijisanji Ian's boy group Luxium?
Yes.
That Luca Kaneshiro had, because he can do a very high pitched, very good female voice, and his fans have dubbed that as Lucy.
Gotcha. Okay. This makes a lot more sense now. Yes, this is a very cultured piece of art right here.
Yeah.
And
I'm working on an Ollie one similar to this.
ooh,
Behind
very
the
fun.
scenes.
Now, was this one a commission? Just one that you did on your own? For
Just one I
fun?
did on my own.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is this more recent or farther back
It was
than
a
the lady one?
while ago. It was a while ago, sometime last spring.
Gosh, it's weird to think that Luxium has been around that long.
Maybe. I think. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Time is an illusion, and I don't care
is.
about it. All I care about is if I the only thing I care about is that I'm not late on posting my like due dates on academics or TVS. That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask me like, oh, how long ago did you debut, Lae-Dee? I'll be like, I don't know. Was it last spring? I don't know.
Time ago, and honestly, that's very fair. Keep track of the important things, and the rest, don't need to waste the memory space on it.
I only got 2 megabytes.
Gotta get you some more RAM.
The wham.
So, another one we have
Oh,
here is-
Leo! Whoa. Time is an illusion. That kind of explains why the mayo was expired. Yeah, I'm pretty much known also for like my multi-foods. I'm getting better at it though.
I remember there
Not eating
wasn't there a
expired
thing
stuff.
with Crony and eating like 5-day-old sandwiches or something recently? Uh-oh.
I'm not crony.
Not you.
I know. Do not speak of that Time Warden in my presence. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like I missed something. I'm so sorry.
No, Chad always tells me I'm like crony, and I'll be like, oh, Kronichiwa, I'm so pretty. Wow, I wish crony was real. She's so perfect. Don't you wish you too had such a perfect crony mirror pillow when you in bed you just want to stare at yourself? I feel sorry for you if you don't. It'd be like, literally
Lady
the
is
first
not
thing when I
nearly
debuted. Sorry.
I'm gonna say, Lady is not nearly she is not nearly narcissistic enough to be crony.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. Or I don't have like such dumb takes. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. God, I feel like I crossed the line.
Yeah, you're fine.
That was a joke. Well, in reference to like the therapy session with Norvesper, that was super funny. Like obviously it was played up.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple clips from that one. I do need to actually
Same.
go back and watch.
Same.
The full thing
I
because
only
it
recall the
looks
one.
Like just
I only recall the one where like Crony and Vesper, and like Vesper's like, why don't you make your own food? And then like Crony like turns it into this like gender bias. He's like, are you being misogynist to me right now? Are you trying to say like I belong? And I'm like, girly. Girly. Are you being sexist? And I'm like, girly. Like, like how the heck? But like obviously for the fun and entertainment.
she was,
she
knew exactly what she was doing
For
to
sure,
get the
for
reaction
sure.
out of Vesper.
For sure. It's all played up. And I fully understand that. But what were we talking about? Crony and a 5-day-old sub sandwich, right?
Yeah, well,
People have been drawing
you were
her with their Subway
mentioning-
sandwich.
You were mentioning the that you were
Oh,
sometimes known
right.
for moldy food, and that was where
Yeah.
that particular comparison came into play.
Well, that one as well. But like when I first debuted, I have not been able to escape Crony comparisons.
Oh no.
Because when I first debuted, Crony took a week hiatus, and that was the same day I debuted, and people in the comments were like, "Is Crony? Hello? Are you Crony?
Oh no.
And it was like at first I was like, haha, this is funny, and I played into the bit a little bit, but now I just find myself annoyed because I played into the bit, and I'm like, I should have not played into the bit.
Now that's understandable. But back on the art, we have this very nice piece of buff pup.
Yeah! I love buff.
That this one obviously is going to end up being different because you're going to be doing fur in addition to just normal hair. So
I love buff.
now, admittedly, I am not an artist. I like to think that I'm good at many things. Art is not one of them. So I'm only able to really comment and speculate on like, oh, was this a piece that had a particular difficulty, or what about that particular aspect? And I guess for this one, just one, since fur isn't something that is going to be on every piece, was that something that you wound up having a bit of difficulty with, or perhaps with the outfit that you have the shine on and everything? Were there any aspects of this piece that really stick out in your memory from when you were making it?
I guess her giant paws, because I wanted them to look a certain way, but I could never get it to look the way I wanted it to, even now.
Now, in the one that you sent me, we don't quite see her full paws, so I'm not sure if this
Yep.
is...
There's a reason for that. That's
So, okay, so the answer was just, all right, it's out of frame, and now we don't need to worry about it anymore.
Yup.
Hey, modern
Yup.
problems require modern solutions.
Yup.
So this is a very fun one. You even added in, the little pencil hearts around, and just the hair on this one, and her face that just, it feels like that's something that you put a lot of effort into. And you mentioned for the piece of yourself that was one aspect that you went out of your way to sort of consult with others and make sure that you're able to get that and make it look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you been able to notice yourself getting better and more confident with drawing faces over time, or is that something you still
Yeah,
feel like
for
you're
sure.
struggling with?
For sure.
Well,
I'm sure
this-
you grow in like confidence and stuff. Yeah.
That's good. And this next one, at first I had to do a double take. I was like, that's just false. And here we have, I guess, the bunny false for, I'm not sure the best way to describe it. I'm pretty sure this is false. Oh no, I messed up. Well, sorry, folks. It's been a good show. Bye!
Shia.
Oh,
Bun.
shoot. I am the dumb. I'm sorry, Shia.
How could you? We just talked about Buff Pup.
In my defense, it's the purple and pink hair.
No excuse. No. I no forgive.
It is understandable. I have sinned. I'm sorry, Shia.
I've sinned. Repent. No, that's Shia. I drew that for him on I don't remember why I drew it. I know it was for Kudo board, but I don't remember if it was for his birthday or his 1 year. Sometimes those are done at the same time, and sometimes they're like not done at the same time. I think it was his 1 year. Pretty positive I could say it's done for his 1 year.
And one part that I haven't actually mentioned yet, that you have the Lae-Dee tag here, and that is
Oh, yeah,
something
I
that you
brand them
include
all.
that you include on all the pieces.
I didn't brand Buff though.
Oh, that's right. One second, I'm just gonna flip back. That's right. There
I want
wasn't
Buff
on
to
there.
brand. I want Buff to brand me.
Very fair. Yeah, then we had the one with Lucy. That was. Yep. Oh, there it is. Yes. Yeah. So for the Shia piece, this one is just torso up, but it's also zoomed in closer. So,
Mm.
did that end up posing any particular challenges? That this, obviously showing a bit more skin along with the muscles, which we had with Buff Pup as well. Do you find it easier or more difficult to draw skin versus something like clothing or fur?
I find it pretty okay drawing. The only thing that like comes to is just I wish I knew. I need to study more on like lighting, to match the environment just to make it pop, everything pop a bit more. But so
Mm,
far, I'm pretty comfortable with like this type of rendering and shading. But there's something that I could do that could be extra, like another layer of lighting that would just make things like bring an atmosphere, a mood to the piece that
mm,
I'm just. It's not quite in my noggin yet, but I hope to one day be able to master it.
mm,
But so far, I got what I wanted to do, which was get like basic rendering and stuff down.
yeah, and that. So do you do the
Look at his
backgrounds?
tongue.
Oop. Oh yeah, there it. There. One second.
His
Actually
tongue.
unlock
Mm-hmm.
asset there. Right. Nope, that's the wrong one.
I made his
That
tongue super good. Moist.
one.
Squelching.
Lots of detail, lots of shine. That's going to end up being a bit of a rarer element that you're not going to be drawing tongues with that detail on most pieces.
I'd love to if I could.
When
Don't
it
have a
comes,
lot of reason to though.
oh, Leo. Leo in the chat is recalling drawing the tongue.
Yeah, I streamed it.
Ah, gotcha. So for the background, did you draw the background and then blur it, or did you draw
Yeah.
it as blurred?
I don't know. I drew it and then I blurred it, and I was like, "This is enough information to be seen as a tropical area. Maybe he's at the beach
You have the
Who
palm
knows?
trees, and you have blue in the background, and
in a cloud."
yeah, you've established the
Good
general
enough.
mood of the scene.
Good enough. Yeah.
And this piece, I know, has to have been more recent, and that's one of Vesper. That time is an illusion, but at least in relativity, Vesper. I couldn't tell you exactly when he debuted, but I know it's a more recent thing. So, like, it was recent. It was August, I
I think
think.
it was July.
July,
Oh.
August, somewhere in there. Yeah, close enough. But I know this is a relatively recent thing. And
Yeah.
so, did you end up drawing this really quickly after debut, or was it something that was this
I think
a
it
more
was
recent one?
before debut. I did it on a stream.
Oh wow! So that must have been, if it was before debut, that had to have been within a very specific week after the announcement, like just leading up to the debuts.
Yeah, it was when they had their like the website launch, so you could see like
Mhm.
their full thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a cool
And I branded
website.
him on his boba. His boba is branded.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I always forget he has the pointy ears.
Yes. Pointy they are.
So
Watch them not be pointy, and I just mentioned that. Oops.
it would make sense that that's usually something that you get when it
I
comes
love
to
my
vampires.
BL looking grandpa.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Eh. For this piece, that this is a much darker one in general. That obviously the background is black with the slight shading going into gray near the bottom. But was it difficult getting contrast since it's black background, black coat, or did that just make it easier because it meant that
That just
you
made it
weren't working-
easier because I
Okay.
didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, so I was like,
fewer shades, and well, the outfit has a simple shade there, and there you go. Unfortunately, you have the gold to at least differentiate and show. All right, this is where the coat ends and the background begins. But you did. You mentioned that you wanted to work on lighting, and you did a good job here with the hair, and that you can see. All right, seems like there's standing by a window because you have the diagonal hit of the light, but then also there's a bit of a stripe of a shadow on the left area of the collar.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that you've been, experimenting with that, that you literally just a couple minutes ago mentioned that as something that you're hoping to get better at, and that you're actually, going out of your way to add these elements.
Yeah. I like his hands. Look at his
Yeah.
hands. Little fingies. I like painting fingies.
And of course, if anyone out there is interested in commissioning Lae-Dee, that, as I mentioned, her commissions link is available down in the Twitch panels right now for folks watching live, and it'll be in the video description once this is up on YouTube. And in addition to digital art, you do rigging and character sheets. Those are closed for commissions as of time of broadcast, but digital art commissions are still open right now. But you actually have this really cool reel of a lot of the rigging work that you've done.
Yeah.
And how did you end up getting into rigging? Because obviously there's a lot of overlap of artistic elements, but I feel like getting into rigging in particular is something that either there has to be an occasion for it or an interest. So how did you wind up going from art to rigging?
Let's see. I've always been interested in animation. Both frame by frame and flash animation. So when I discovered Buff Pop, it's also when I discovered the existence of Live 2D. Because at the time, Buff Pop was doing a lot of Live 2D streams where she made like a bat vampire plushie that chat could just use, and I would be attending those streams being like, wow, that's so cool. I didn't know like anyone could access this and do it. And that really got me into like the whole, like, once I tried to understand more of Live 2D, I then got into more discoveries of VTubers and how you could do different toggles and all the, like, your creativity is the limit, right? And then it just went from there. And I was like, I gotta learn how to do this. It seems like it could make my long life dream come true, because I've always had like even before I was Lae-Dee and before I was even Kerwo, I used to have like a past life as a content creator with a little mascot. Similar to Nyanner's, she had like her pink cat girl mascot, and I used to have like a different mascot for myself as well that was also like humanoidish. But things I was young and stupid, and I didn't really know how to really work a channel or take like responsibility for a channel that was growing so much at the time. So I deleted all my content, and I took a break from just content creating online for a year or two, until I found Buff Pop. And Buff Pop literally initiated, like, whenever I say like she initiated the flame in my heart to start doing creative things again, because within that space I was just so lost and confused, and just I didn't know who I was anymore, because now I didn't have a hobby, and now that hobby turned out to be stressful because I was like, young and dumb, as I'd like to say, and I was like so stressed out about it, like affecting my future. So I just eliminated everything, and was too scared to just go back and have a presence. I was too scared to have a presence on the internet anymore, because I felt like, oh god, it's until I found Buff Pop, and here we are.
Cool. And obviously it's very understandable to go through that type of thing, that content creation as a whole is still a very new thing, regardless of your age. But especially, if you're trying to balance things like school and, you said just being younger, where you don't know as much, that it can be difficult. And especially if you end up seeing some success, and if it's a bit more than you might have expected, that can understandably be something that's very stressful. So, certainly don't blame you for the path that you took, that it seems very logical, but at the same time, I'm so glad that you were able to find Buff Pup and really be able to find that spark in yourself again.
Yeah.
And you do a variety of rigging, as we see here, that there's the more realistic models, there's some of the chibi ones, but then you also have, I guess, what would be colloquially known as small style models, but also the Parorus.
My little gremlins.
Yeah. You've done those for a variety of folks, and actually just this week you were working on a set for Bishoujo, if memory serves.
Yeah, I'm working currently. I hope to have them finished by early December.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're working on. I'm working on smalls for all the Vishojo talents and plus 2 friends that they requested.
Yeah, that's it. I remember when you were working on it, you had a design sheet for basically all of them. That you're still in the
Mhm.
early stages, and that you were sort of just hopping around doing different parts for different folks. And I guess since that particular job has so many that you are able to just sort of move around to wherever you have inspiration at that particular point in time, or if you hit a snag on one, okay, we can put this down, move over from Yanners to Iron Mouse for a little bit, and work on that instead, and that you're still making progress on that particular
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
project while you know I'd imagine it creates some more freedom in that creative process since you're able to make progress on so many different angles.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Another thing is that one of the reasons why I do have it set up that way is because obviously what I need, like, I needed to speak to the manager who approved of the project that was commissioned to me. I have to let them know, like, okay, I'm gonna work on these. These are the ones I'm working on, and but also just let you know that since these are still in plan and these are still in plan, and get them pre-approved while I work on the rigging for this first batch, so then I
Mm,
could just easily go on to the next because they're already pre-approved.
yeah.
That's why I have it set up that way with the sketches and everything, but also like semi, you know, the reason why they're separated the way they were, like while I was drawing them, is just for me to benefit how I can understand drawing the live 2D thing, because obviously everything's gonna be covered up, right? But when you
Yeah.
like move it around, you got to have the part showing. You can't have
Mhm.
it missing. And I would just rather draw it. I'd rather figure that out in the smaller thumbnails of that sketch that I was doing in that one stream than try to figure it out on the big VTuber canvas with the model art.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's something that, as someone who isn't a rigger or an artist, I don't necessarily think about. But as soon as you explain all that, that
Yeah.
makes perfect sense, and
Here, I could
especially from the
I
workflow
think
perspective, that
yeah,
also is
I
very
could think
practical.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a really good one comes with the Zentrea that I could send really quick. Um if it's of no hindrance to you.
We
Uh
can try. My
yeah, no
computer is a
worries.
bit of a potato, so we might get a slight lag for a moment as
Oh,
I
it's
get
all
this, but
good.
we will
It's
see.
all good.
It's not a very big file, so hopefully didn't actually mess with things.
It's all ruined. Thanks, lady. No problem.
So the robot one, that's not false, obviously. But
We said we're still talking about V Shoujo, man.
well, sorry, I'm still watching. This whole time I've had your animation reel running
Oh,
as we've
yeah,
been
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
The
it.
ghost
So
one, the
sorry.
ghost
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is the ghost TV boy is false ID. I
Okay,
made
so
that for
it is.
him before I debuted. Yeah, before I debuted,
Oh,
just to get my presence out there, because I really
gotcha.
wanted to have a presence before I debuted, so people would be like, "Oh, cute, you're cute," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I am cute."
Sorry to jump around. I forgot that you are not seeing the reel that I am currently playing. But yeah, I've had that going on loop as you were discussing the different parts there. Let me
No
get this
worries, no worries.
fan
I remember
art
I was
in.
like, yeah, it was a speed run for Halloween. And I had made the art and rigged it all within 6 hours just before from Sunday early like 1 a.m. to like Sunday like 6 a.m. or something. I definitely didn't wake up at 1 a.m. It was around like 7 a.m. to like however long it was until we got streaming and stuff. But I was like, yeah, yeah. And then a lot of people were like, wow, it's so cool, so impressive. And I'll be like, thanks.
All right, I have got the Zen art in. To the canvas I have here. Yeah, so you have all the different parts broken out here.
Mhm.
First gen Zentrea, as I trip over my words. That you have. Is her model more difficult than others since she has those extra attachments, or are things like the different pieces you have on the left hand side gonna be different things that you have for the others, but just different types of things?
Mm-mm. So for Zentrea's, because her body, so the thing about these small models is that one of the challenges to overcome in like making these small models, especially for like a lot of the V shoujo talents are very voluptuous, right? They're very
Mhm.
voluptuous, and a small model is just like a brick with a circle on top and like two peg
Yeah.
legs and like two puppet hands, right? Two puppet arms or whatever. So it's like it was more of a challenge to simplify the design, but keeping like the like you know, like her little like design on her chest and the smiley face on her belly that, like, you know, gets mistaken as a smiley face because memes, to keep those in there. But obviously I don't have the as much of the, like, if you were to compare it side by side, you'd be like, yeah, she's missing a few like things, but you got the main important parts that make her design recognizable.
Yeah,
And
it's a streamlined model.
yeah. But I think it was difficult trying to smallify it because a lot of her design in her frame is to emphasize those curves that a small model does not have at all.
Mhm.
Small models' curves are non-existent, and boobs are non-existent.
Ihander says Funko Pop version. Yes, that.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, pretty much.
And then we have on the left, there's the different the sort of ear attachments. I'm not quite sure if those. I've never understood that part of the model. That, you know, obviously it's a mechanical sort of cyberpunk model.
It's like my little earphones right here.
Yeah, you have those. You have the arm pieces, and I suppose the fact that that model's legs just end up being sort of the pointed stilts does make your job a little bit easier here.
Oh yeah. We'll see.
Also, what is that on her head on the right? The second
It's her
model
little
from the right?
mascot. It's her little mascot that she has for her chat. She has a
Yes.
toggle to put it on her head. I try to I do a little bit of background research for all the small model and all my like small model commissions. So sorry. I try to make them like as close to the original as possible. So I plan to do look over the showcase and try to see if I can mimic the same type of toggles and, you know, lighting effects as was done in the original. With
Mhm.
in addition to like my added things and whatnot.
Gotcha. So let's see here. So I guess if you're able to say, so does this include the Shoujo Japan girls as well, or?
Yes.
Okay, so that means
Yeah, all of these shoujo.
And you mentioned plus 2 others, so that is a dozen models.
Yes.
Whew. Well, at the very least, hey, that's a big order. But
Yep.
obviously, for an artist to get a big order, that's a very good thing, and obviously, it's a very exciting one because, well, it's VShojo. That is there any particular story how that one came about?
So when I was making small models for because I think like during the during the summer charity event that TVS took a part of, we had one of the redeems being a small ID, and so one of our mods, NVIDIA, made a small ID for false, and I was like, okay, I want a small lady, so I made a small lady for me. And then people were like, oh, this is so cute. What if like you had it with other people? And I was like, oh, okay, let me make one of Iron Mouse because I feel like she has gremlin energy and, you know, reminds
That's right.
me of,
I
like,
do remember
fits with
seeing you
small.
work on that.
Those are the first smalls I did, and then I guess Mouse liked it so much that she reached out to me when I opened more commissions for it, because then I had grown a little more confident, a little bit more confidence in myself, and she was like, "Hi, can I make a big order?" And I was like, "Sure." The only reason why I want to get these VTuber ones, I say like realistically, I don't know if I'm gonna get these all done by like early December, but I really want to work hard to try and get as many done as I can by early December. If not, get like 80% done, right? Or at least get all the VShojo talents, right, done by early December, and then maybe like leak into mid to late December, finishing up the 2 friends that they had, which is Snuffy and Lord Aethelston. But what's it called? It's because I know they have like outfits that they change, especially Mouse has outfits that she changed so much.
Yeah, and you need to make sure that you get these before they have new designs debut, and then they're
before
outdated.
They changed. Yeah. I think that's one of the challenges for me for these smalls. It's not so much the
I'm just making sure I get them done before they change outfits, which I don't know when they're going to do that, if
Yeah,
they
no,
even plan on doing it, because that's like not in my like business to know. But
nope. That they're not going to bother disclosing that. That the order is, please make things for these outfits, and
Yeah.
you say, yep, we'll do that, and that's the information that you get, and it's that's gonna be a fun challenge, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to do it. That as we discussed, you're a very organized person, and that especially given the magnitude of this particular client, that if you were to tell other clients like, hey, I'm sorry, I might need to delay this because I have this very large order for this very large client that I need to get done, but fortunately, it is only the beginning of October, so there's still plenty of time. I'm pretty darn confident you're going to be able to hit those deadlines.
Thank you.
Now, one thing that might leave less time for is some Padaru models, because there was a Lae-Dee Padaru model in that animation
yeah.
reel, and I do enjoy me some Padaru, and I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to the inevitable Padaru invasion that we had. It happen a lot last year, and I'm guessing it's going to happen pretty much annually, because
Oh, I
those
can't
are
wait
simpler
again.
designs. It's very easy for folks to
Yeah.
adapt to it. I know a good number of artisan riggers have already gotten that type of style down. So I'm guessing you might be taking a few less of the Padaru models to make sure that you have enough time for these. But
Oh, I don't think I'll be doing any Padarus this year.
understandable that you have this.
The only Padaru that was actually my first Padaru model, but also like because I saw around Twitter, I was like, everyone has like this like stagnant Padaru model. So even though I'd only just debuted in November, mid to late December, I was like, I really want to make a Padaru model, but I wanted to stand out. So I was like, I'll make it spin, like actual like
Patoru.
I could do that on stream, and people were like, "Yay!" and I'd be like, "Pataru, spin!" and then it'd be much cuter.
Anybody in
know.
chat has BTTV? I do believe that I have a Padaru spin emote in the ones for the channel.
Ooh,
And,
let's go.
since I'm not an affiliate, that I qualified for it and said I'm not going to bother with it. That just for doing only one show a week, that it didn't feel worthwhile. But I decided to add BTTV because it lets you do some fun stuff. I just don't remember what the code is for that one offhand, but I do know I have one, which I greatly enjoy. McFlail. That's interesting. Why is that not appearing on sidebar? Oh, I see. That's right. It's getting the text code, but not actually showing. I'm gonna need to figure that out. Also, Einhander, I see it's not a command, that it's a BTTV mode, but yeah, things that I need to still figure out.
There you go, Einhander.
Hey, there we are. Yeah.
Close enough.
走れそういの風のようにパタル。
Yes, indeed. It, being October now, it means that those are going to start creeping in sooner rather than later. The inevitable war between Halloween and Christmas happening in October. So, any last comments you have on the small models? Are there any parts of them that you already mentioned the fact that you are taking 3D things and making them 2D is a particular challenge. Are there any favorite parts of doing small models? Anything you really enjoy in terms of the simplification, or just being able to make these designs super cute?
I really like it when watching the person showcase the model on stream, and the stream chat just being like, "Oh God, why? Why? There's too much power." I really like. I think that's the best part of making these small live 2D models. Similar to like one of the regular live 2D models that I have, when people like showcase them, it's really satisfying and nice to know that not only has it worked smoothly on my part, but also on the client side, it's working smoothly. But also able to, like impress not only the chat, but
I really like that. It makes me feel nice. Because I'm like,
Mm.
I did a thing. Yay!
Has there ever been accidental crossover of VTuber stuff and IRL stuff? They're like, have you ever used a VTuber term accidentally in passing while in the chemistry lab?
oh yeah, no, I'm very open about it with my colleagues in my chem lab. I mean, they don't know like specifically what I do, but they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing that. I'm doing like this because I have a part-time job. The way I explain it to people IRL is like, I'm like, it's a lot easier and more convenient than like being a retail worker.
Yeah, that's for sure. And my go-to line for explaining VTubing is that, do you know what a YouTuber is? Do you know what a streamer is? It's that. They just use a digital avatar instead of using face cam, and that usually gets most people at a basic level of comprehension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
you know the
don't-
tool bear? It's like the tool bear.
You never use that specific one. I'm trying to remember that.
It was
When
a
I-
PBS episode.
So my parents don't actually know about VTuber Talk. Only 3 people in my IRL life know about it. It's just been a project that I spun up for myself, just for fun, really. I ran a charity marathon in January. I'm going to be doing another this coming January for the anniversary of the show, and I'm going to be having the goal of if we raise $5,000, that we raised $4,000 last year, and it was just absolutely
Whoa.
incredible, which is way more than I had ever imagined. That at $5,000 this year, if we get there, I'm going to let one of my good friends know, who I do a lot of other just projects and some content stuff with. And
Wow.
if we somehow reach 10,000, I will tell my parents on air, and that will go
Wow.
as it goes. But
Hopefully they don't dox you.
that I trust that, I would tell my parents beforehand, hey, I'm going to show you a thing I've been working on. You're going to be on a call. You cannot use my name. Write down on a piece of paper and put it in front of the computer. Do not use name, and put in some hopeful precautions. And fortunately, my parents aren't super well technologically versed, but at the same time, they know the basics. That
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. And there was an occasion where I was explaining the concept of a VTuber to my father for, wasn't talking about VTuber Talk, but I do a lot of convention stuff on the side. And my parents obviously know about that. And I mentioned, that, there were a lot of VTuber companies at this convention. So I had to explain that. And have you ever read Ready Player One?
I haven't read it, but I've
Okay.
seen I remember the IRL like live action trailers for it.
Well, the response I got from my father was, oh, so it's like Ready Player One, where the characters have the avatars and it doesn't necessarily look like they do in real life. And I sort of had this epiphany moment. I was like, actually, yes, Dad. That's a really
Yeah.
good analogy. So the surprise and delight of it being even easier to explain. And now I also sort of use Ready Player One as a potential example. It obviously not a one-for-one, but that whole concept, because there's different character points of, all right, these avatars in the game are not what they look like in real life, and that people keep anonymity in the game and don't want to be found in real life. So it ends up actually having those similarities there, which I hadn't even thought about before.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to move us back to the main screen, but it was super cool hearing, the insight and the stories behind all this art. And as I mentioned, if you want to commission Lae-Dee, there are links below. That transition actually worked. Sometimes that one lags. It's always nice when things work, because, I'm sure you are more than familiar with things that just, it works when you're not live, but then for whatever reason,
It just poops itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, this is too much work, too difficult, gonna clip and gonna just lag. But hey, it worked. that
Ooba,
time.
ooba.
We got there. So we've gone over horror survival games, Project
Mm.
Diva, a bunch of isekai. One series that you mentioned to me, which doesn't fit any of these other umbrellas, or perhaps it sort of does, that there was a show called Hell of a Boss, which I am
Yeah.
not familiar with. But when we were talking earlier this week, you got very excited about this show. So, what is this show? I want to know why you are so excited because and even just
So-
now, you lit up. So I'm excited. What is
Yeah.
Hell of a Boss?
So Hell of a Boss is a YouTube indie cartoon made from VisiPop. And I followed VisiPop for a very long time, since 2015 or 2014. And I actually, if I wasn't going, actually, as I was also like planning to do chemistry, applying to like colleges for going into chemistry, I also applied for some art schools. And VisiPop was one of my like inspirations to get into an art school. There's one in like that was like not very near me, but you know, she went to like SVA, and I could have gotten into SVA as well. I got the acceptance for it for my portfolio, but I just couldn't afford it, so I just went to the chemistry one because I got the most money for attending, right? So it's not working that way, but that didn't stop me from doing art. But then I found out, so I kept following VisiPop and also other animators on YouTube, or just indie animators, or those still studying, like Mew Triple, who's a CalArts student that I love. Her animations are so good. I love indie animated shorts so much. They're so beautiful, and so like there's this one French animation that I really love as well. I forgot what it's called though, but it's so good. It's so beautiful. But VisiPop, she has this type of like interesting aesthetic that I've always like kind of liked. And when she originally initiated it's a Kickstarter for funding her, she had graduated SVA and she wanted to try and make her own show. Wanted to make her own show on YouTube. Because she had the management skills, she had the artistic talent, she had the, she knew what she needed to do. She just needed the crowdfunding and the interest. So she had a pilot made as well, and then she had 2 shows come out, that being Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel.
I've heard
And
of
they're
Has
both,
Been
like-
Hotel. Haven't
yeah.
seen it, but I've heard that name.
They're both musical heavy. Each episode has a musical song in it, and it's super funny. It's very like Rick and Morty type humor, Adult Swim humor. It's Adult Swim humor for sure. It's not for kids at all. One of the things I appreciate a lot is the LGBTQ plus representation, which is another reason why I got like pulled into VisiPop stuff. And yeah, I've only watched like 3 episodes before like, gradually like distancing myself from it because, life happens, and I just forgot that they were updating the series. Because like, they're not like a big studio. It's like this girl,
Yeah,
she's like
but you
managing
need
everything.
to be really actively keeping up with it. And if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
fall behind, get busy. That's understandable. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. So episodes come out like every couple months, right? If not, there being like a yearly hiatus between like seasons, and they're very good quality. They're super fun to watch. Has Been Hotel the pilot for Has Been Hotel was like really nice, but then like when it did come up, it was like super like weird with their sound effects, and I didn't like it. But I did like the lore. So I'm still looking forward if she does continue fleshing out Has Been Hotel a lot more. But she has been focused more so on Hell of a Boss, which is a same kind of like, same thing like Has Been Hotel, except instead of demons reaching redemption, it's about this demon imp who runs a store runs a business and indie business where he's like, hey, do you have a person you want to kill in the upside and you couldn't get to them because you died too soon? Well, we will handle it for you. And that's the whole like thing of the show. But then it gets like a little deeper with its like relationships and the fun like dynamics of the different characters. Hitman, yeah,
I was gonna say,
Hitman.
an
But
underworld
specifically,
hitman service.
Actually an overworld Hitman service, because they don't deal with their demons, right? Because you can't,
yes,
them,
yeah.
And it's very difficult to get back like to the other side, right? And it's super freaking funny. I love it. The humor is satire. It's dark. It's music is bopping. I even sang, like I was watching the same night I was binging the episodes that I had missed. I was like at this like final episode of season 1 for Hell of a Boss. I just randomly edited and made a cover in one sitting for like just a jazz portion of a song, House of Osmodeus.
And it's on my YouTube and stuff. And yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out because I was like, yeah, I mixed something and sang it, and it didn't sound too bad. A little scuff, but that's all right. But I didn't care enough.
Yay! That's always fun when you just, get that spark of inspiration and just like, I need to do this and I need to do this now. And I have the time now, or I will make the time so I can do this now because
Yeah.
that I'm very familiar with that. And just, when you have so many things on your plate that sometimes it's actually sometimes you just need to let yourself go on those impulsive little creation journeys and be like, I'm okay pushing things aside because there's going to be something extra fulfilling in this moment, and that you have that drive and you know that you're going to be able to do it more efficiently than you might at other times. And there's just something so refreshing that when you find that impulse, because it doesn't happen every day, but then when you're able to do that and complete it, that you then feel so much more energized for everything else.
Yeah.
I've not actually seen that particular song, but I'm going to have to look that up on your YouTube after the show.
It's okay. You don't have to.
It's an interesting concept, and obviously the hell here being the double entendre of, oh, teehee, they're in hell, but also, they're
Oh, it's such a good song. I love it.
That sounds like a really cool one, and
Such a bop.
it sounds like one of those things that could end up being an anime of just that. It's that type of crazy and fun, and it's very interesting to see Western animation versus
the animation is so good. They even have like little they make a mockery of some Disney in this interesting aspect in like the 8th episode, because there were only 9 episodes for season 1. So the second to last episode, which I think is the 8th episode, is it's like a little make fun of for Disney animation. And it's funny because they do go all out because usually it's a flash animated series, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of time and to maintain quality and consistency within the episodes within their time limit and resources. But for that one episode, they had specifically done frame by frame animation with the key colors of what you would see in a very Disney style vibe show. Like there's no harsh black lines. There's you got it's absolutely beautiful. And I do follow the animator that was in charge of the frame by frame animation. So I was super freaking happy to see his work and in there. So I was that's really cool because the quality is just so good.
Yeah, and it's always fun to see artists and animators going into different genres, whether it be parody, spoof, or just a more general homage to something. Actually, hopping back to a show you mentioned earlier, one that has very intense black lines, but also one that does just a lot of spoofs and spin-offs, Panty and Stocking, which also got announced to have a second season sometime. We don't know when, but hey, we all thought that the end of season 1 was the end. They said to be continued in season 2, and we all just sort of said, oh, Trigger, or no, that was still technically a Gainax production, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just take Candy and not Panty, not Candy. Just take Panty and slice her up in a bag and be like, "Hi, here's your gingerbread house. Okay, to be continued."
Yeah, and just
smile.
But the thing is, you would expect that from Gainax. You would expect that from Trigger, the absolute insanity twist that you never actually planned to resolve, and especially given how crazy the entire show was, you sort of shrug, laugh, and say, yeah, that's how it goes. We're not getting season 2. And to finally get it a decade after the fact, we don't know exactly when it will be. So it might be more than a decade, but they've said they're doing something, and I'm happy for that. And, one of the things that Gainax and now Trigger is known for is doing some really good parodies. Did you ever see Space Patrol Luluco?
Yes.
And that was them just riffing on themselves all day long.
Yep. It's great.
Yeah. And for anyone who isn't familiar, Space Patrol Luluco is a series of shorts that it's not your the normal length broadcast anime, that these were 12-ish minute episodes, and they take designs and characters from the entire back catalog of Trigger animations up to that point, and it's basically Luluco going around the universe to these different planets, which are very obviously spoofs and different takes on different Trigger show settings. So she ends up getting inserted into all these types of things, and her boss in this case is actually just the Inferno cop, who is wholesale lifted from his source material and put in. And don't
Yeah.
worry about it. Don't question it. He's there. He's the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger does a lot of fun stuff.
They do, yes.
Have you seen the new Cyberpunk anime?
I have been putting it off because I know if I get into it, I'm not going to get any work done.
That's fair. That's fair.
The fandom is so good. I'll want to not draw anything else. So I'm putting it off until I finish a good portion of my comms and then before I start watching it. Because I know I'm going to want to draw everything. I want to make sketches of it. I'm going to want to make like live 2D like memes of it or whatever.
Fortunately, whenever you
Gotta be
do end up
responsible.
having time, it's not too long, that it's 10 episodes at, 23, 25 minutes each, not
Oh, but it's
like
so
an
beautiful
hour
and
block, but
bopping. You know I'm going to be marathoning that again and again.
Oh, yeah.
Again and again and again and again and again and again.
I won't go into spoilers in that case, but I will confirm, as you've probably heard many other people say, that it is very good, and I definitely can understand wanting to put it off, and when you have the time for it, you have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. I'll probably end up watching it during like my Thanksgiving break.
Gosh, Thanksgiving.
Sag.
Yeah, time again. It's weird.
You know what else is happening in that month of November next month?
Which only kind of like like people have been saying it, but like I'm like it kind of almost seems a little bit more real now than it's next month. But then I'm also like I don't really have any plans to do for that day, so.
It's my 1 year anniversary.
Yay! 1 year anniversary. Are you working on any plans for that, or rather, I
Nope.
suppose? I was going to say you might not be able to talk about any plans that you're doing right now, potentially.
Oh well, I got none. Because I feel like so many things have like already happened. Like I don't know. Like I celebrated. Like it feels like it. Like I celebrated my debut, and then I celebrated my birthday, and then now I'm celebrating my 1 year. That's like it feels like such short time has passed. I feel like it's like what more
makes
can I
sense.
do right now besides like.
Hey, that I feel like that's one of the things that folks end up deciding of, like, what is the right pace of celebrations for me? Which things do I want to celebrate? That for me, I just have the anniversary of VTuber Talk, that I have not celebrated my birthday on stream at all. That, especially for a show like me, it doesn't really make sense anyways. But for the anniversary that last year and this year, that it's just basically I put out a message to every past guest and say, hey, want to come on the show again and help raise money for charity. That it's 2 days, 12 hours each, so 24 hours over the course of a weekend, and just a zany time. So I definitely hope that if your schedule allows, that you'll join in for that come January. But that's even farther off, so do not worry. No need to make any plans for that right now.
Mama.
Leo in the chat, yes, 1 year, and yes, it shot down. But still, that for you've found out that that the anniversary isn't necessarily a big thing for you, and that's okay. That you have your birthday.
Who
and that you
knows?
say,
It might be once it gets in, I'll be like, oh god. I'll be like,
maybe the week before that.
but like for now, I'm like kind of chill.
Maybe the week before you'll have that flash of inspiration,
Yeah,
like with
right?
the other things, and maybe not. That we'll find out. Just go with the flow.
Yeah, that's very much what I do. That's all I do.
Goodness, we've already been at this for 2.5 hours, and I know, like you said, you're going to be doing probably a real stream later tonight, and you have all these other things, so I don't want to take too much more of your time, but I have a couple last questions that I always ask my guests, and the first is sort of relating to what we were just discussing, and it's, do you have any goals for the rest of the year? That, we're now officially in October, so a quarter of the year
Oh.
left. So
I felt
is
bad
there
for
anything?
yeah. I felt bad for this question because before when I was starting out as like Lae-Dee for debut, I was with a Bananial, right? And he asked me like, "What are your plans?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just started." Like
Hey, a
I was
goal of
like,
just keeping your
my
sanity is still a goal.
I was like, I wanted to joke and say world peace because like I was like, I don't know what to answer with this. I'll be like, I don't know, art, do the news correctly, like the basic necessities of maintaining my job,
Yeah,
not
no,
get fired.
that sounds like a pretty damn good goal to me, though. It just you, you have a lot of things on your plate. You have
Yeah, but
all
I
these
think I
different
just said, I don't know.
Yeah.
At the time, I said, I don't know. But now I guess I could say definitely want to work on more Zatsudan streams type streaming, so a lot more just chatting and a lot more just chatting streams with other VTubers as well. I have to since September was out, there were a lot of like open calls for people to come in for both just chatting streams, but also for gaming streams. And I found out it depends on the vibe of the gaming. I'm very casual, like extremely casual. If I play with someone who's a little competitive or takes the game a little seriously, then I'm like, yeah, I don't vibe too well with that. I don't have that much of a good time. So I'm glad I'm learning that about myself, but like I have nothing against the person, right? It's just we
Yeah.
have different play styles and that's amazing. But like we still know how to like we can still like have a conversation and be like really like good about it. It's just that playing games with this maybe playing games maybe not the best thing to do, but I like how I'm discovering that about myself, right? You can't please everyone, you can't please yourself all the time, so that's really good. So I want to be able to discover more of that stuff, and get into more like just chatting type streams with other VTubers, and maybe play a few games with more of my like inner circle friends. And that's pretty much it. Besides like the cover song, besides like some music things that we may or may not be planning, I don't know. Yeah.
No,
And the comms, yeah.
those are good goals, and like I said, that frankly, with all of the stuff that you have, that just keeping your own sanity, that alone would be an understandable goal. But it's cool that you're continuing to push yourself with the music and different types of streams. And hey, I think you did pretty well here. And I know you've been on Roy's channel and a couple others that you are just fine at chatting. So excited to see you figure out what works best for you on your own channel, because obviously it's going to be a bit different when you're a guest on somebody's channel versus just running your own show, whether that be a formal quote unquote show like VTuber Talk, or if it's just, hey, I'm streaming and it's just chatting and it's with me and maybe some friends. I don't know. But it's clear that you are very comfortable with yourself, and that while you are still discovering things, that you have that awareness and that you have that drive to discover and understand, all right, there might be some trial and error as we go through all this, and that you have the mind to be planning and to be working and improving, and that's a really good thing to see.
I remember something that stuck with me in the like my very first interview type stream with Bananial. I forget what the question he asked. Oh, he asked me if I had any advice for future VTubers and VTubing, and I think like it's more so like a response now. I think so, but like at the time, I don't think a lot of people were talking about it so much. But it was like I don't know. It's like being able to think. I don't know if this is really random. Is this too random?
No,
Is it too random?
it's a talk show. Don't be afraid to talk.
Okay. Because like one of the questions I was asked and I didn't really know how to answer at the time, so I just gave the generic just do it. Like I didn't know what else to say. But then I remember I DM'd him later and I was like, I think I have like a genuine answer, because it's true to like how I wanted to learn. As I said, previously as a content creator, I had like a growing channel and a growing community. Except I just was young and dumb, and I didn't really know how to properly handle it, properly like manage it with other people. So I just completely obliterated my existence as that content creator life, and went on that like 2-year hiatus, just no internet presence whatsoever. And one of the like important things I'd say for those who are coming to be a content creator or is managing as a content creator is that an important skill. I'm just literally just gonna read this like word for word what I had said. is an important skill when getting started in being a creator or entertainer is to work on listening and learning to disagree but still respect the other's opinion, which goes into like improv as well if you're on live, to just make sure that everyone's still having a good time and just like, you know, put your pride away. Put your pride away for the sake of like having a good time with other people, you know?
Yeah,
Like you don't always have to
absolutely.
be right, and someone doesn't always have to like agree with you, you
Mhm.
know? And you don't, like, your goal is to have fun. It's not like, you know, to be like, you gotta understand this, this, and this. Me. You have to be flexible. Definitely. You have to be flexible and open and know how to adjust to the situation, which I just like to call as improv, how to improv
Yeah.
it,
No, that
and make sure it
improv is
doesn't get awkward.
exactly that. I think that's a really good term for it, and just it's something that for me as a host that I'm always trying to be cognizant of, and even in our chat today that for my next life is villainous, I really enjoyed that one. It was clear you didn't, but it was like that it was still cool,
Yeah.
hearing your thing. And,
I can't believe you didn't like this anime. You're not a
yeah,
true isekai fan.
no, we don't need to get into that. It's like that. And at the same time, I also just acknowledge that, yeah, the criticisms you have are completely valid. I enjoyed those things, but you didn't, whatever. That's fine. That's cool. And I
Mhm.
like getting those types of differences. But at the same
Yeah,
time,
and I get
some
yeah.
of them we were totally insane on. Like, oh, this thing's really cool. And we're able to get super excited. But just, there was also me accidentally misidentifying one of your pieces of art. And then, you could have taken that in just like, oh, like, what are you talking about? You don't know, but you made a bit out of it. That you had
Yeah.
yourself, sort of hobble off a screen and then, come back in zoomed in face and, played it up and
Yeah,
made it
yeah,
funny. And that, for me
Ooh.
was like, oops, I messed up there. Uh-oh, big deal.
Just like to tease you about it, yeah.
No, that you did a great job with it. And that, yeah, it's a bit awkward for me because I did genuinely mess up, but, we move on, whatever. That's just how a live show works. That,
Yeah.
one
Roll
of the
punches.
yeah, that one of the things I'm pretty open with is that I have, as part of my process as a host, a pre-interview, and that you and I spoke for a little bit earlier in the week.
I
And
was
we
so
went
tired.
I felt bad because I saw that you were really busy this week, and it was like, hey, if you can make time, and I do really appreciate you going out of your
Oh
way.
yeah,
But
no worries.
I could tell you were a little tired, so I kept things short that day. But
Yeah, when we exited the call, I passed out. I passed out.
But it's the type of thing that I like to do that little bit extra to
Yeah.
lay a foundation for myself. But even so, obviously, I'm still gonna mess up. I know I'm going to mess up. That it's just part
Same here.
of anything that's gonna be live. That whether it be doing a broadcast live, doing a stream live, doing a show, or just gaming, anything like that. That everything from your technological stuff, which once again, thanks Roy for this new little information about the bitrate in the URL. I'm gonna have to remember that.
Yes.
To just finding either saying something wrong, messing up on who a piece of art is about, or hitting something that you don't really see eye to eye on, but just still having a good time and figuring out the ways to have fun. And sometimes that's making a bit. Sometimes that's figuring out, all right, this topic isn't going to generate a bunch of conversation. Let's find a different one. And that's okay too. And it's very clear that you have that sense for it, and that goodness knows I've done this now for a year and a half. I don't think I'm the best at it by a mile. I like to think that I'm maybe okay-ish, but I'm still learning every single show, no doubt. And
Same.
that's just the
Same here.
mentality you have to have in general. It doesn't matter if it's content creation or life. Of just don't be too proud. Try to have a good time, and just try to be a good person. And
Yeah.
it's not too difficult to do those things.
Yeah. I remember with some of the recent like September streams that I have collabed with, I remember like there are different ways to go about like the whole like teasing bit thing. So my way is a little more like childish and playful. But when I'm playing a game with someone who's a little bit more like not necessarily serious, but goes for the like FU type joking, or like like that kind of like jokes.
Yeah.
Those kind of like jokes. It's kind of like it's more of a miss than a hit with those
Yeah.
kinds of like improv vibes. And I'm like, it's okay. Like it's fine. Right? A little awkward, but we just managed through it. We all know at the end of the day, we still love each other. I still love you, bro. You still love me. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Well,
But
it's
it's
just,
all
you know,
at the end of the
figuring
day,
it out.
don't take it like not personally, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That just not taking things personally, and
Mhm.
that you find different styles, and one of the things
Mhm.
that you learn over time is how to work with them. That
Yeah.
you might not naturally be able to mesh super well with that type of comedy, but over time you might realize, okay, when I'm collabing or interacting with someone who has that style, that eventually you
Mhm.
might start finding things of, okay, here's the reactions that end up performing better. And that's just the thing of, like I said, improv, comedy, or performance in general,
Mhm.
of learning those responses. And the first rule of improv is yes and. That it's
Yes.
never disagreeing or shooting down what the other person's doing. It's figuring out how to build on it. And even if
Mhm.
the and is yes, and now we're taking a crazy left turn to
Yes.
shift it
Yes.
because I don't think that we can get a
Yes.
lot out of this bit. That's still
Yep.
okay. That
Mhm. Mhm.
it's about not completely breaking the flow. It's fine if you have to
Yes.
change the
Yes.
direction
Yes.
of flow abruptly, but don't break it.
Yes. Perfectly said.
Eh,
Mama.
I didn't expect us to get on that particular tangent, but hey, there we go. And that's some of the fun things of just when you find
Yeah.
that thing that suddenly you're clicking on, you roll with it. Ta-da!
Mhm. Mhm.
This content creation improv clinic has been brought to you by Lae-Dee and Jay.
Don't forget to like that subscribe button, and don't forget to like that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you appreciate our little advice section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last question I always ask all my guests, and it can be a tricky one. It's what does being a VTuber mean to you? And that's not asking what is the definition of a VTuber, but I've found that
Let me get my
VTu-
smart
yeah.
glasses on.
VTubing is unlike any other form of content creation. It has that inherent level of personalization, some amount of fantasy, and frankly, just tools that you're able to use that aren't inherent to other forms of content creation. And I've had people say, VTubing lets me get in touch with my inner child, or it lets me be someone that I can't be in real life. I've had others answer with a pretty clinical response of, I'm an entertainer and VTubing is a mask that I wear. It is a super cool set of tools that I've discovered for content creation, but that I don't necessarily have a emotional attachment to VTubing. And both of those answers, everything in between and beyond, are totally valid, that different people are going to get different things from this. But
Yeah.
I love figuring out what those things are. So for you, Lae-Dee, what does being a VTuber mean to you?
It gives me a space to be myself and to push myself content creating wise. I used to have one where, like I said, it was with my like actual like being. I was very open about who I was, but I wasn't comfortable with that. But I also felt like it's interesting because I actually felt hindered about content creating with my actual self. So content creating as a VTuber has actually made me explore more and be able to do more with what I really want to do. Interestingly enough, if it is interesting.
Yeah, the reason I always ask that question last is one, it helps sort of put a bow on everything from a show,
Mhm.
but also while I never know how somebody is going to answer that question, the answer always makes sense. And
Yeah.
even just given the couple of hours that we've spoken today, that for you of just, having a creative outlet is obviously something that's important to you, that you've, like you mentioned, been through several various lives and iterations online, and that
Mm.
VTubing allowed you to find that spark and that comfort again that you had actually for a time lost. While
Yeah.
meanwhile, you're also juggling a whole bunch of other stuff IRL, plus the TBS stuff, plus your art. So there's a lot of different things, but that it for you has sort of been, you are Lae-Dee, Lae-Dee is you, that in the sliding scale of personas that people put on as a VTuber, you don't change much about yourself. That you change your voice and inflection, obviously, when you're doing a news read for TBS, but that in general, when you're actually just on stream talking, whether it be on TBS for the interviews you do over there or just streams on your own channel, that you are just you. But at the same time, it is clear that Lae-Dee has given you not only the tools and the drive, but also that newfound just sort of venue of comfort, I suppose.
I'm so incredibly blessed and grateful to have gotten the role as Lae-Dee, and I intend to full-heartedly work hard to push myself in my creative limits and just see what I can do and what I can't do. You know?
Yeah, that's part of the discovery process of realizing, okay, I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to push this limit, and oops, that thing broke or that didn't work. But now
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
But it is clear that just that Lae-Dee in TBS has been a really positive experience for you. That I have so much respect for the work that you, False, Cody, and Heidi do over there. That it would be very easy for you all to run TBS basically like a tabloid. That basically there's a lot of folks who do clips and that try to stir up drama, and
Yeah.
that there's a lot of different ways to go about what you do. And I think you all have found a perfect balance of, and I say this in a very positive way, you all have mastered the art of clickbait title with genuine presentation. That
That's all false there.
That False has a very
We follow-
he has an
yeah.
act of getting that good, that headline really. Of
Yeah,
what's
we
coming in the
follow.
door.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. We follow his his standards and morals for TVS. So really, that's all false. We just follow, me, Heidi, as the co-host. We just follow what goes, follow in on like the whole TVS morals and what is done. 'Cause there's certain things that we don't want to cover, right? We want to just cover the news. We want to cover what's there, what's true about it. We don't want any speculation. We don't want to do any like drama thing or whatever. And if there is something that is covered as quote unquote a drama bait, we just want to show the facts or what's confirmed already out there. We don't want to make any assumptions. We don't want to be like whatever. That, I mean, as a viewer, go ahead, do whatever you want with the information, right? But we just want to have the facts out there.
Yeah, and I think you do a great job of it. And when I say the headline thing and sort of like the clickbait title, it's a very real thing that clickbait titles are called clickbait because, yes, they do perform better. They get clicks. And the way that False has been able to, like you said, have those standards of finding something that's going to get folks in the door, that's going to get the attention to get them to see the video, tune into the stream. But then once they're in the door, it's all business. And that it certainly, even if it's just you and the other co-hosts following his lead, it speaks to you at the same time the fact that you are able to follow it with such ease and the fact that you all work so well together. And it's a really cool thing to see because, it is not an exaggeration to say that you all are one of, if not the premier news aggregation sources in the VTuber sphere.
It's still crazy to me that how it is that like that. Because I just feel like I'm just like gremlin. Just doing my own thing.
But that's the fun of it all, and the fact that you're able to, obviously business when it's presenting the news, but that you can be yourself and Gremlin off the air and just do your own thing. That I think it's a very healthy dynamic, and it allows you all to just be yourselves. And it's been so cool to see you come onto the scene that I've been aware of things VTubers say for a while, that VTuber Talk started in January of 2021. And I don't know the exact start date of things VTubers say, but I had seen, Robo False around for a while, and then was vaguely aware of, it's doing some streams now, and started following a bit more actively, I'd say later half of last year. So actually, funny enough, it was around the time that you debuted, and it's been cool to see you and the others grow along with it. And just genuinely, I think you all do a great job. And thank you for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule to be here. Thanks to all of the deviants in the chat who have stopped by. I see you. Thank you all. Also, I think I missed another follow. Denarius Den, thank you for the follow. Yeah.
Yay! That's one of our mods.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And I see plenty of those false ID Wigglies and I forget what that one is called. Is it just nut? Yeah, ladies
It's a
nuts.
nut.
Yes.
It's my nut.
Yeah.
I made you say it.
Well
Anyway.
played though. It's a good one. Hey, if I had that one there, I would take that chance too. Also,
Oh,
once again,
man.
like,
My name's great.
and it was fun seeing that you all had the Cody and Heidi, and that I don't know if it was intentional that it wound up being Kohai, but damn,
Oh,
it just
totally
fell into place.
unintentional.
that Einzelgauen moment of, oh yes, the plan, of course.
Yes. Yes. False really has Einzelgauen moments. Chat will be like, oh, Kohai, I see what you did there, False. And False will be like, yes.
Yeah, I'm smart. Yes. So as we wind down, I actually do have one other question, and it's, who would you like us to raid?
Oh, I think since False is on, we should raid
is he live?
False.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
he's
Awesome.
doing some news reports. I think Cody has
Imagine
his
that.
birthday. Yeah, Cody. Imagine. Wow, surprising. Yeah, Cody is he'll probably be he'll be recording his segment and also editing Cody's segment because I'm pretty sure Cody has a segment read today. So that should be exciting.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you, Lae-Dee. Thank you, Deviants. For anyone watching on YouTube that made it to the end of the show, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Or if you skipped, hey, congratulations, you made it here. Hi, like, comment, subscribe. As we've said before, for folks here live, if you are interested, you can follow me here on Twitch and Twitter. It's just VTuber Talk both places. I do a show usually once a week. It's actually been a busy one for me. That this is my third show in 7 days, which is a total anomaly for me. We'll be getting back to the normal pace in the coming weeks, but this has been episode 79 that VTuber Talk just keeps trucking along. I have I'll go on and say that my next guest is going to be on Tuesday, and it is Hootie Who. So the pirate VTuber. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely hope you'll join me for that. And if you're interested, like I said, feel free to follow, or not, that's fine too. But if nothing else, be sure to follow Lae-Dee, be sure to follow False and everyone over at TBS. Like I said, they do amazing work. If for some reason you haven't seen it already on YouTube, look up their stuff that they post all the time. And Lae-Dee has her schedules out, and when she's not doing art or doing chemistry or, I don't know, preparing to take over the world, that there are some very nice, comfy streams and some crazy streams. So definitely follow her. It's going to be a good time, and just cannot thank you enough for being here. So you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm going to be sending you on over to False, and I will see you all next time.
Let's go.